Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tel Cockerel edition today. North London Derby Positivity Assemble. And if that music, the start of the show, doesn't get you going, then we've got the gang that will. So I'm going to start with ladies first. Here we've got Queen Ellie Bergvall, who is our very own Captain Marvel.
That's it. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Gooners. Bring them on.
We have Colin, who's our very own Doctor Strange.
And strange I am. Strange I am. Absolutely.
I supposedly am today. I'm Thor. We've got Phil in the house. Who's
big up, man. Big up.
Phil in the house, who's our very own Hulk. And then Thanos to the stage. Deji Spurs.
Nice.
My club.
I'm gonna put us lot down the bottom so all our big people can go at the top. How is everyone today?
Yeah. I'm recovering.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad to see you, Ellie. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Ellie had a fall. But I wasn't Humpty Dumpty, honestly.
Good deal. They were able to put you back. Good deal. Good deal.
I'm all right. I'm on painkillers. It's making me go a bit high, I think.
Yeah, probably just a little bit, but I'm glad you're okay, Ellie. We're glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm surviving. I'm a survivor. Yes, I am.
Phil, how are you, mate? Otherwise, Ellie will take control now. So how are you, Phil?
Yeah, I'm great. That intro's getting me pumped. I've got goosebumps here. So I'm just ready for Sunday now. I can't wait to get into the show. And we are going to do the scum on Sunday, believe.
And Colin, you started a rebrand of your channel this afternoon.
I did, yes, sir. Two Sides of the Pitch podcast. We had our first little show kind of explaining what's going on. It's going to be me and Jamie Imber. Formerly of Talk Spurs. We've joined forces, and it's going to be great stuff. The normal content plus more broad Premier League as a whole content. It's going to be really neat. So yeah.
And Thanos, aka Deji Spurs, how are you, man?
Jose, man, look, I'm loving it. I'm loving the theme, the positivity. Feel like everyone else, I can't wait. I wish we played them before the international break, to be honest. And I just want to quickly put out there, and I know we're not going to say it today, but people who are saying, are we more positive because right guard, bodyguard, some sort of guard, and Jasmine Rice is not available. I was hoping for them to have those two players so we can really slap them up. So I can't wait for Sunday. Sunday can't come soon enough. And I think I'm excited. I really think we're going to see something special from our boys this weekend. So come on, you Spurs, come on!
Right, let me say hello to people in the chat, and then we can get the show crack-a-lacking. Right, you've got Mark Cooks here. Good afternoon, Mark. Robbie from Lily White Lane. Good afternoon. Spurs bench. Johnny Vasco's here. Good afternoon, Spurs Johnny. Peter Kagayas, 103 in Melbourne. Good morning to you, Peter. We've got Daniel Coy's here saying big up to you, Daniel. Destiny 5 saying hello. AJ, good afternoon, sir. Graham's here, Spurs GCTV. Hanno, how are you, Hanno? North London United instead of the North London Derby. Yeah, you Chelsea people. Wait till you play Chelsea. We'll do another show as well.
Oh, yeah.
We'll show you what we got on that one as well, Hanno. Good afternoon, Ronnie. Ronnie's here. Good afternoon. Quez Ali is here. Says that song is provocative. It gets people going.
Yeah.
You have Niall here asking you, Ellie, whether you got hold of Luca.
I messaged him today actually because he wants me to go on his Arsenal show, but I don't know whether I should go because it's like being a traitor, isn't it?
And you got Gussie saying, G'day, Solanke was born exactly 1409 weeks before the North London Derby, and he was born on the 14th of the 9th. Weird, fancy a goal on his home debut. And Graham is saying more positivity than the top end of a battery. Love it. Come on, you Spurs. Right. So I suppose the way to start it, I mean, the international break's over and done with. We've been waiting for it to get over and done with. We knew the fixture list. We knew the fixture list before the start of the season. For once, Tottenham play against the Arsenal at home first, because normally we get the away tie before. It's been like that for years and years. I think the last 2 times that Tottenham had it was in 2020 and 2011 was the last 2 times that we kicked off at home in the Premiership.
Yeah.
And we won both of them games 2-1, by the way.
Yeah.
Just a stat to say we won them 2-1. But so it is North London Derby week. So Ellie, what are your feelings? North London Derby week. What does it give you? What vibes does North London Derby give you normally? Or this week?
Sends a thrill right through my body, a nervous thrill as well, because like there's always tension before the match, during the match, after the match. If we've won, it's like incredible scenes in the concourse with the trumpeter, the drummer. I'm looking forward to it because it's one hell of a match, and you don't want to lose it. That's one thing for sure. And I just think we've got the beating of them. Right, I think we have, because we've started off really well. All right, we've won, lost, and drawn a match. All right, but we should have won all 3. Right, so let's take them to the cleaners, boys. Come on, you Spurs. Let's do it.
Colin,
come on.
Colin, what does it do for you? Sorry, what does it do for you the week? Or not just this week, but North London Derby in general.
Yeah,
the week leading up to it.
It's like Christmas almost. I have trouble sleeping. I just want it. I want it to be tomorrow. I want it to be now. I don't want to wait till Sunday. But no, it's great. The tension's good. I love the excitement. I've got an Arsenal fan, pretty big Arsenal supporter in my family. I don't like to talk about him when I don't have to. But Corey, if you're watching this, I'm talking about you. It's my cousin, my mom's brother's son, and he's Arsenal big time. So it's always fun in our family as well to have a little back and forth. Yeah, man, we're gonna take him out, and it's gonna be good. I feel like it always sets the bar for a good season. And a nice early win against Arsenal. Season will be going great.
Phil, for you, North London Derby.
Yeah, a lot of nerves, especially sort of getting closer to kick off. But yeah, just excitement really. I think we've got the better of them, especially with their injuries that they have. I think Odegaard and Rice are their 2 best players for me, and I really do think that we could do them over like 3-1. Yeah. In my opinion, I think if the crowd are up for it from minute 1 and we get an early goal, then I really do think that we can get on top of them early on. We just need to be a little bit tighter at the back. But one thing I will say in this game, we do need to be clinical. In the last 3 games, we haven't seen that. But we need to tighten up at the back. That's one thing we need to do. But yeah, just excitement, a little bit of nerves. The nerves will kick in more and more each day that goes. But yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing for it. And I've got a mate at work who's an Arsenal fan, so we have a bit of banter at work. So yeah, I'm hoping we get one over on him so I can give some shit to him.
Yes, you don't get the shit. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We live for the banter, don't we, lads? We live for the banter. Come on.
Right. There's your cue.
Hey, look.
Here we go.
Thank you, Jose. And look, for me, I live for the banter, but I live more for my club. And Ellie, I think you said it right. For me, okay. So last season, just quickly, we started off well. But if we're really brutally honest with ourselves, there were a couple of games in that spell, the 1-0 at Luton, where I thought we were a little bit lucky to get it over the line. And there we found ourselves 10 games in, top of the league. This season hasn't started that in that sort of fashion. But what we can say is that we've done domination in the location. Total domination against Leicester, where they only had about 3 chances on goal. None for Everton and I had the pleasure of being at the game. And Newcastle was reduced to 4 shots. Now, people really underplay that Newcastle result. Yes, I know we lost. Yes, I put my hand up, granted. But Newcastle bullied us the last 2 times we went to St. James's Park, physically and with the intensity. They could not touch the ball. And we knew that we weren't our full selves because we had no striker, no Richarlison, no Solanke. And then just before kickoff, we lost Van de Ven. But we still managed to dominate the game. The issue has been with Spurs. We've had moments of lapses in concentration from Romero. I think Romero is liable for the Isak goal. I think Romero's liable for the goal that Vardy scored at Leicester. Barring the moment lapse, the football's been brilliant. I don't understand Spurs fans who have goldfish memories. Do you want to go back to Mourinho? Do you want to go back to Conte? I don't want to see Son or Kane or any of our players running around the pitch like Kenyan marathon runners. I want to see them on the ball. And that's what we've got on the Postecoglou. We're on the ball. We're dominating the game. Now what we need is just to finish off our dinner. And I believe we're going to do it. I'm with Phil. I've got Spurs to win 3-1. And I will say this because I actually said yesterday on Spurs Kings TV, maybe that defeat to Newcastle's done us right. Had we won, I reckon we go in, we're not as optimistic, maybe a bit too confident. Do you know what I mean? I had us to beat Arsenal anyway. I think Postecoglou wants to win this. He's going to set the boys up right, and we're going to go out and get the result. And I'm going to love it. But equally, Postecoglou knows that if he doesn't get a result against Arsenal this weekend, he will legitimately be under pressure. Now, I don't want Postecoglou being under pressure, but you've got to turn up for a North London derby. So as for me, I'm bullish. I'm expecting us to do domination in the location. They're not going to touch the ball. They hardly touch the ball at the Emirates. Bloody hell. They're full squad. Now they're not going to have Jasmine Rice, Muller Rice, and they ain't going to have right guard. So what are they going to do? Yeah, nothing. So I expect us to go there and stack them up good and proper. But for me, the victory is putting us back where we should be. A lot of Tottenham fans screaming, get Ange out, doubting his game, doubting the system. The system's fine. Let the guys cook. Bloody hell, he's only been here a year. Yeah, so give him a chance. For me, I didn't fear Arsenal. I've watched all of their games. I did an up watch. They beat a Wolves team that doesn't eat meat. They were rubbish. They should have lost to Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins should have banged those two opportunities. He scores those, they lose to Villa. And they were turned over by Brighton.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, I would rather be in the Spurs camp where you're playing well and you ain't got the results because you know the results will come, than to be limping and getting the kind of lucky victories over the line. Which camp would you rather be? Because time will tell. That's what football does. If you're playing crap, you will get found out. And Arsenal's been shit so far this season, let's be honest. Yeah. They're rubbish. So for me, I just want Tottenham this weekend to get our just reserves. Beat Arsenal, people sit up and put some respect on our club's name. And guess what? Even if we win 1-0 on the weekend, we go above the scum in the table. And if it's good enough for you, then it's good enough for me. Come on, you Spurs.
Fantastic, right? So what I will say, I mean, it's obvious. I'm not going to state the obvious here. Any North London derby is a hard game. Whether they come to us or we go to them, it's always an atmosphere and it's always going to be a hard game for both sides. And normally, like in any game, although this is a level above, the team that shows up on the day and that puts their front foot forward is a team that normally tends to get the result. So, with that being said, I think Deji's alluded to a bit about where we started this season and where Arsenal started this season. Ellie, I'll come to you first. So, on Sunday, what is it we need to do on Sunday as a team?
We need to make sure that we're all disciplined, focused, got that Spurs vibe from the crowd, pick up the atmosphere. All the players, I urge you to pick up on the atmosphere, and all the fans that are going, including me and Jose, we got to really cheer on our lads. And if they happen to score first, which I hope they don't, right? I want to score first, get the initiative, play football like we know we can, stay solid at the back as well. I like the high line if it works, but I think we should tweak it a little bit in this game. That's what I want to see. Just a little tweak here or there, you know, and I want us to go on that pitch and show Arsenal that we mean business this season. And I also want to see the youngsters appear, right? But they're going to appear right in the last 5 minutes because we won't need them because we've already sealed the game. Come on, you Spurs. We've got to do this because if we let them win, they're going to be on 10 points and we're only going to be on 4 points. So we're already trailing them 6 points. So this is a 6-pointer for me. And like Deji said, we only have to win 1-0 against their Muller Rice idiots.
Yeah, exactly. Muller Rice.
Don't eat their Muller Rice. We're going to Muller them. We're going to Muller them.
Yeah,
I'm going to say 3-0 to Spurs because we're not letting a goal in because Romero's going to take business. This is the game that he's going to step up. The Argentinian beefcake. Come on. That one was for Mia.
Phil, what do we need to do Sunday?
We need to be dialed in from minute one. I've no doubt, like, Ange will get them up for it. I don't think really you need a coach to tell you to be up for this type of game anyway. The players should be dialed in from minute one anyway. But yeah, need to have confidence on the ball, belief within themselves, within Ange's way of playing. And we just need to go out there from minute one, get stuck into them, make sure, you know, one thing we do need to do is respect them as well. That's what we need to do. Even though they've got Rice and Odegaard out, I still think they are a strong squad. So, you know, we need to keep our feet on the ground in that sense. But yeah, I think if we get an early goal, which, you know, I think we will, with the crowd going as well, then I think we can kick on from that and see the game off. So yeah, come on, you Spurs, and let's do it. Come on,
Colin. What's it do for you? You're on mute, by the way.
Thank you.
What do we need to do, mate, on Sunday?
I mean, just come out and do our thing, right? I mean, we're at home. As Deji pointed out, we need a win here. I mean, it's everyone's pointed out, but Deji rightly pointed out, Ange is going to be looked at funny and you know, be in a bit of trouble if we don't get this win. But we're at home. You know, this is one of the biggest matches, if not the biggest match of the year, in my opinion, the whole season. So yeah, we just need to come out and do our thing. I don't think Ange should deviate from his normal way of playing at all. And I don't think he will. Van de Ven should be back by the looks of things. You know, you hear conflicting reports about that stuff, but I think Van de Ven's going to be back. And so if we get Van de Ven back, I think the high line works perfect. He is kind of the linchpin that makes that high line work. So, you know, having him is important. But I think, you know, having VDV back, having a recognized striker, I don't think it's going to be Richarlison. So hopefully Solanke can be fit. I think will be great. And we know that Arsenal are kind of in a weird spot themselves where they fancy themselves title challengers, but they're already 5 points behind, I think, City. So they're going to have to come out and play. They can't just come and sit back like you might normally do and wait on the counter. They've got to come and attack us. And we benefit from that, I think. So, yeah, just come out and do our thing. Just the Spurs way, the Ange way. Let's see some Ange ball. I'm excited.
Just to jump in quickly, it's a massive game for both teams. I mean, if we beat Arsenal, the confidence we will get from this game, if we actually absolutely do them at our ground, we can kick on from that. And the fixtures that we've got, I think we can go on a run of you know 5 wins. I think I don't fear Man United. I think we can do Man United. And Brentford, Coventry, and let's be honest, the other games we are capable of comfortably getting wins from them games. So for Arsenal, it's massive as well, because they don't want to be 5 points behind City, even at this stage in the season. So it's a massive game for both teams.
Yeah.
Can I just explain why I'm so bullish? Yeah. No, thank you. Let me tell you why I'm so bullish. You know, one of the things that's been upsetting me is the amount of respect some Spurs fans are giving Arsenal. I think they've been pretty pony, in my opinion. You know what I mean? When you really break it down, and let me break it down. Last season, we didn't have a great team when we played Arsenal at home. We lost 3-2. Remember, Van de Ven scored a legit goal that was ruled out for offside. Yeah. And we went 3-0 down pretty early. Sakkā getting a goal, remember, on Ben Davies' side. Now, one of the things that I've noticed about this Arsenal team is they don't want it. And one thing I've noticed about our team, we've actually started to grow some kahunas over this past year. I don't know if you've noticed. People really under and downplay that Newcastle game. Joe Linton, Guimaraes, they bully people in the middle of the park, just physically. Gordon, Barnes, Isak. And we had all of those 6 players quiet like little mouses last week. And I watched Sakkā cry like a baby when the right back or left back at Brighton gave him a little knock to the head. I think we're going to bully Arsenal physically. They're not going to be able to keep up with us. If Van de Ven is on the pitch, what is Sakkā? Sakkā at the Emirates couldn't do anything against Udogie. Nothing. Porro up against Martinelli. Martinelli is a shadow of himself. Then you've got what? Havertz or Jesus up against Romero and Van de Ven. Are you kidding me? And then we've got Partey, Jorginho, and who? Against our midfield 3 of Bissouma, Cooley, Maddis. No way. Son on the left. Odegaard and Solanke. The one thing I will tell you is you can see very early on if the players are up for it. If you haven't seen the interview of Maddison, go and watch it. He done an interview on Sky Sports earlier today, and you can see that he had a frown. He was looking at the questions, and he was looking like this. And he said, we don't need motivation. They're ready. I can tell you now, the lads are ready. They just need to step out and do what they do. If they just played as they play, we are going to win. Even if Muller Rice was there, even if right guard was there or left guard, we would still win. I don't give a damn. We are better than what people give us credit for. People look at the names. And what Postecoglou is trying to teach this fan base is stop looking at the names. Can they do the job? And I'm going to tell you, over the test of time, over the 38 games, you will see. Sakkā ain't doing jack this weekend if Udogie's on the pitch. He's doing nothing. So where's the threat? Where's it coming from? I don't see it. You know what? I'm going with you, Ellie. I had Spurs to win 3-1. I'm saying 3-0. These punks won't score.
Right, so I just wanted
to give me the program.
I just wanted to say, right, I just wanted to clarify something, because I can see some people in the chat are talking about injuries. There hasn't been a press conference yet. I think the press conference is set up for Friday. However, what we do know from the press conference, from the previous press conference, is that Postecoglou said at the time, before the Newcastle game, that Van de Ven could have been ready, but they weren't going to risk him, and he would be back for Newcastle. He said exactly the same about Dom Solanke as well. Said that Solanke's nearly there, but they're not going to risk him. After the international break, he'll be back. So they're the updates that we've currently had, because we've got people saying that there's updates saying that they're both going to be out already. No one said that they're out. These are the latest things that we heard were what Postecoglou said. And as for Bissouma, I'm not too sure. Bissouma came off yesterday, is what I've been told, in the 1-1 draw against Mali, where Bissouma scored again, by the way. So he's scored in both games in the international break for Mali, and he's captained Mali as well in both games. But Biss, we're going to have to wait and see, because I don't know enough about what's happened to Biss. So, you know, at the end of the day, even if they weren't playing, let's just say that we had to go in with the same team as that we played against Newcastle, right? and they've not got Rice and Odegaard. It should never be about. It should never be about, for me, football, and I've always said this, should never be about what the opponents can do. It should be what you've got within your gift and what you can do yourself. So let's say for argument's sake, we didn't have Van de Ven and we didn't have Solanke. Do we still turn over Arsenal?
Yes.
Why?
We do, because Dragerson played well in that Newcastle game. And, you know, one thing I personally had noticed that he struggled as a left centre-back. So I was happy to see him right centre-back in the Newcastle game. He had a sterling performance. It was Romero who had a little lapse in concentration. And you're saying if we don't have Van de Ven and who was the other person?
No, I'm saying if we didn't have Van de Ven and Solanke, we played without them against Newcastle. So if we had to play without them again, do we still beat Arsenal?
I think it would be. I can still see us scoring a goal. It would be a lot tighter. The reason why is because weirdly, Kulusevski looked stiff when he was in the number 9 spot. He looked like it was an oil tanker trying to turn round. But as soon as he went in the number 8 role, he was free like a bird and he was able to turn left and right. The issue we've had all season is that we just haven't got anyone. We're just not clinical up top. It would have to be a really well-worked goal. Maddison putting it on the plate for Brennan Johnson, putting it on the plate for Son, for us to win the game. But Son's still on the pitch. Son could come in and play the 9 and finish off the dinner. So I think we could still win, but I probably wouldn't be as bullish as I am. But if Solanke and Van de Ven do play, then it's all over.
Ellie?
Yeah, it's going to be a lot tougher because obviously they're 2 key players in our squad, right? So in our first 11, sorry. So I feel we'll have to step up our game. The other players have to take up the responsibility of where we're missing those 2 key players and try even harder to put an influence on the game so that we actually get it over the line. I still think we're going to win. But it'll be a lot tighter. Like Deji said, I think maybe we'll win by the odd goal because it'll be a lot tougher because Solanke, he would have finished a lot of those chances at Newcastle. We would have, right? Because he's not a prolific scorer, but he's come to a big club in Spurs and he's got a point to prove. Everybody's doubting him outside of Spurs, even our Spurs fan base are still doubting him. So he's got big boots to fill in with Harry Kane. So let him step up, and I hope he plays. I really do. But if he doesn't, I think other players have to finish their dinner because we've been missing so many dinners. I'm getting fed up. I'll go and have my dinner. No,
Phil, to you, it's only a hypothetical, right? I'm saying hypothetically. It's only a hypothetical for us. We know that they're going to have players out, but you know what? I don't wish illnesses on anybody at all, an injury on anyone, right? We wanted to play against their full 11. If them 2 players for Arsenal are going to be out, it means we're not playing against their full 11. So I'm just saying, hypothetically, if we were without Van de Ven and Solanke, do we still beat Arsenal, Phil?
It's a draw.
If we were out them, yeah, I think obviously it's a lesser chance that we win the game if we don't have them 2 players. They're an important part of the way we play. The Van de Ven, obviously, you know, with his pace at the back, he's so crucial to our high line. Solanke, for me, I from what I saw in the first game, I think he's sharp. You know, with his movement, his finishing was a little bit off, but that'll come in time, man. He's here. He's been here 1 game. You know what I mean? Let him cook. He's you know, he scored 19 goals last season. So let's see if he can kick on. I believe he will. I believe he's suited to the way we play, especially with our wingers in Son and Odegaard. I think Odegaard is a young kid, but I think he's going to come good. He just needs to tighten up his game, you know, with his final ball. But yeah, in terms of them 2 players, I think I really do think we give them a game without them. Maybe sneak a draw. But with them two players, I am very confident that we'll get the win at our gaff, definitely.
Colin, if hypothetically, if we were without, because I'm going to go and spin it in a minute, but if we were out without Van der Ven and Solanke, right, which I don't think we will be, but hypothetically, right, and they've obviously got two players that we know of that from the starting 11 that are definitely going to be out, do we win the game?
Yep. Easy.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think I don't think there's very much to it. Yeah, we definitely win. We're at home. They're missing important players as well. I think with the hunger we've got, I think everyone forgets, or maybe they don't. Hopefully everyone remembers. Sonny loves to score a goal against Arsenal. I know Sonny hasn't been at what anyone would call his best for a little while, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have a banger in him still. And so I'm expecting a Sonny goal. We just got plenty of players that can do it. We haven't put it all together yet this season, but we saw in preseason, it can be done. We've put some good performances together. This is a game that every player will be up for no matter what. And they want to win just as bad as we do, maybe worse. At least you hope. But I personally think that. So, yeah, I mean, even without VDB, if VDB's not playing, I wish Ange would push the line back a bit, but he's not going to. And I kind of actually like that stubbornness and belief in himself. And, I don't even think it'd be as close as everyone says. I think we get scored on no matter what. No matter who plays, we don't keep a clean sheet. But if those guys don't play, it goes to a 2-1 victory for Spurs. If they do play, then we've got a 3-1 or 4-1 victory for Spurs.
100%. And can I just add that for me, in terms of the back line, we had no Udogie last year. We did have Van der Ven, but I think Udogie is a bigger miss on that left-hand side than Van der Ven would be, because we know that Dragerson can do a job, whereas Ben Davies couldn't quite do the same job that Udogie does. And I think that was a really big miss, because remember, Arsenal are most effective where? On their wing, and they're heavily reliant on Sakkā. And Sakkā, when he played against Udogie at the Emirates, couldn't handle Udogie at all. Udogie had him in his pocket. And so I feel like in the back line, Udogie is probably the most important player that we need, that needs to be playing, and he will be playing. And he had a good international break with Italy. He looked like he was on fire. The other thing is we had Højbjerg starting in that midfield as well in that 3-2. And remember, we talk about that game as if we lost 3-0. We lost 3-2. Van der Ven had a goal ruled out for offside wrongly. Yeah, we could have easily drawn that game or even won that game on another day. The midfield that we will have is stronger today. Kulusevski, Madders, even if Basuma's out this time round, you've got Bentancur to come in. That's a stronger midfield three. We were up against Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Partey last year. They don't have that kind of midfield. So even if we lose Van der Ven and Select, I can't even remember, Basuma, we are still stronger. We have a stronger lineup. So I agree. We win regardless. We win regardless this weekend.
I'm going to come to why I said this in a second, right? It's just that since we've been on, had a few people come in. So let me have a look. Who came in as we were talking? We have got Donna Cullens here, saying hello to everyone. David Clark's here, saying hello.
David.
Got lots of comments for the fire and brimstone that's coming from Deji. We've got Smithy's here, saying hello to us all. Gus Parker's here. Good afternoon, Gus.
What up, Gus?
We got, and there's someone that we haven't seen for a while that I saw come in as well.
I saw too.
Yeah, they haven't been here for a while, but Amin Correa's here. Hi, Amin. I hope you're well. And the person here he is, Sheree.
Been a
Sheree
minute.
We haven't seen in a while. So
long while, yeah.
Nice to see Sheree here. So welcome everyone. Sorry, we were just waxing away. Right. The reason why I said hypothetically to you guys, right, and my comment was hypothetically, is because Deji spoke about something earlier, right? Deji said the way that we've been playing this season, the way that we played at Newcastle. You alluded to all three games, but you talked about Newcastle as well. We were without Van der Ven and Solanke at Newcastle. Arsenal had their full 11 for the first 3 games. Right? And you said, Deji, earlier that you don't think Arsenal have been convincing. I'm going to be kinder with my words. You said they haven't been convincing in the 3 games, yet they're going to be missing 2 players. If hypothetically we were missing 2 players, the ones that I said in Solanke and VDV, well, we already played without them at Newcastle. Right? Now, I'm going to go along the lines of, and my personal point of opinion on this is, I believe Tottenham have played better in the first 3 games, and we've already taken an L than what we did in the first 3 games of last season. And we've already taken an L this season. And we were unbeaten last season, but I think we're playing better. I think our pressing has been absolutely A1. Deji, you were at the Everton game, so was I and Ellie. Son's pressing from the front was just unbelievable. And the team pressed with him. In the first game against Leicester, well, I didn't go to the Leicester game, but what I noticed was the pressing started with Solanke and the team pressed with him. We're recovering the balls. We're the best ball recovery team last season in the league. Stats will prove that. But this season, we've started on fire, and we're probably top as well of that stat as well, of recovering the ball. So, at the end of and defensively, I think we've tightened up. We look more robust than what we have last season in our defensive actions. So, for me, for Tottenham, there is a lot of positives. And the reason why I asked the question is because exactly what you were saying earlier, Dej, and exactly what the 3 of us saw with the Everton game, because the 3 of us were there at the ground and we could see the patterns of play. I mean, I don't know where you were, Deji, in the ground, but I was in the south stand and I was in near the corner, so I had clear line of sight of Odegaard attacking me. So I could see what Odegaard was doing. Do you know what I mean? So there was a lot to like about the Everton game, and it doesn't matter who you play against because you're going to have to play everyone. The computer tells you you've got 38 games and you're playing them 38 in this order. Barring postponements and that, this is the way you're going to play your 38 games. So you've got to play everyone in your league twice, home and away. You've got to play them twice, whatever happens. And the computer's thrown up that we've got Arsenal early instead of them having us early. We've got them early. So
I wanted them early. I wanted them early because it guaranteed us the earlier the better, in my opinion, because I wanted to make sure we had no injuries by the time we were going to play Arsenal anyway. Do you know what I mean? And one of the things that you mentioned that a lot of Spurs fans miss out, and I'm so glad you raised that point. Defensively, we are better. It's just that the lapses in concentration has felt like teams are more clinical. Newcastle had 4 good chances on goal. That was it at home. Everton had none. Leicester had 3. So people are getting less than 5 chances at our defense. Last season, it felt like the floodgates of heaven had opened. They were just shooting from everywhere. We've shut that up. And then the analogy I've been using, and I think I used it with you guys last week, the other week we were together. When you have a striker that's not scoring, the reason why we never panicked with Kane was because Kane would always be in the right position, even if he didn't score for a period of time. And if you're getting in the right position, the goals will come. That's exactly what's happening. Look at Spurs as a top striker. We're getting in the right position. We're doing the right things. We just need to score. Had Odegaard headed the ball, had that crossbar by Porro gone in, people say Newcastle sat back. That was their game plan. Rubbish. Because if those 4 chances we had in the game had gone in, they would have got slapped up. Do you know what I'm saying? So we are doing all the right things. We just need the final piece to the jigsaw. Once that happens, and I think this weekend is where we can do it. Arsenal can be got at. Look at the Villa game. Did you see Brighton play a similar high line to us? What the Van Heck was on his own on the halfway line, and they struggled to get out. They played a similar style to us. So I know if we played this style, it's gonna work. They couldn't act it against Brighton.
I want Deji on the pitch, man. Let's get Deji in as striker.
We go to war.
Yeah, man.
To war, but if you want, I watched the Brighton game. Literally, Van Heck was on his own, on the halfway line, literally on his own, and through ball. And then the goal they scored, It's just simple ball through the lines, straight into their player, goal it in. They're just not clinical, a bit like us. Brighton should have won that game. But then what we need to do, which we haven't done, and I haven't seen this from our team, this is the only thing that's missing. We need a bit of nastiness. When you're playing Arsenal, you go to war. There's none of this smiling in the tunnel. There's none of this hugging each other because you were on international duty together just a couple of days ago. No! Now we go to war. And what I saw from Brighton, from that player that saw Jasmine Rice go off, was a bit of nasty. I want to see a bit of nasty from you, doggy. I want to see a bit of nasty from... This is the game for it. Give a bit of nasty and you get results. But if we go in there all like puppy dogs, that's when it can fall apart.
We've got to get our nasty on. And we also... We also got to win our individual battles individually from like defense to attack. Every player has got to be on the ball, yeah? Keyed up, clued up, win the game. None of this rubbish losing. We don't want that. We don't want to nail at the end of it, so we're all depressed for the whole of the week and maybe months and years to come. You know, we want to be happy. We want to be going to a Jamaican party with Deji.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Right.
Bring on the Lovers Rock music.
I think what we'll do is we'll let Deji's got to shoot in you, so we'll let Deji have the last word on this, and then we'll carry on with the show. But Deji, thank you for coming on, mate. Thank you for coming to preach to us all. Deji's digits can be found in the title of the stream, so you can, if you haven't subscribed to him already, get over to him. Everybody that's on here, I've put their details on the title. So Deji, you got the last words before you getting out of the house, mate. Talk to us.
Yeah, I just think Spurs fans, just a word of encouragement, you know. Postecoglou is the right person for the job. A lot of Tottenham fans wanting him out. You got to understand there's a process, okay? Last season, he was laying the foundations, like building a house. Now we're starting to put the bricks on. A lot of people saying we need him to drop deep. No, what he wants to do is get the football in the blood and the DNA so that whoever you bring in, it doesn't matter. And guess what? He said that the foundation's been laid. We've seen it. Jose, you confirmed it. Players have been out and it hasn't mattered. It hasn't affected our performance. Now we just got to make sure that the new players have it all ingrained in their body, and then you will see Postecoglou start to do the adaptations, drop them deep slightly, make them go a bit wider, make them come a bit in. You will see that. Give him time. Arsenal, in their second season, finished 8th. If it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me. Yeah? So I can see Spurs. We are building the building blocks. So rest assured, people saying he's not going to last until December. Shut your mouth. That's all rubbish. But I think it starts this weekend. The only other thing I would say is, and I don't think it will happen because we did well when Man City came and they said we were going to throw the game. We just got to turn up ready for war. We turn up ready for war, we get the result. If we don't turn up, in the unlikely event that we don't turn up ready for war, then I will personally have questions of Postecoglou. But that's unlikely. So sit back, Spurs fans, and enjoy the ride. And stop giving this scum too much respect. No, they're not good. Arsenal are not good, but they've got the result. That's the difference between them and us at the moment. And that's it. But thank you. I'm so sorry I have to go.
No, Deji, thank you for coming on. I wish your son all the best at football.
Cheers. And
no doubt I will see you on the screens throughout this week because you are touring everywhere.
I am indeed. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, Deji. See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Right, so
can I call out Angus? Angus, we need to make a bet, man. I'll wear an Arsenal kit for a show, and if you win and if we win, you've got to come on camera in a Spurs kit. I'll even furnish the Spurs kit. I'll send you one. DH gate. It won't be expensive. So just if you're up, let's do it. I'm down.
Right. So Ellie, Phil, Colin, right? Really, come Sunday, do the boys have to be pumped up for this game? Or are they going to be ready? Do they know what it means? Will they be ready, or do they need pumping up?
I said earlier. I said that I don't think the players need to. I don't think they need that motivation from the coach in this game. The game's too big for that. Obviously, he's gonna do his speech to the players before they go out. But I have no doubt that they'll be ready for this game. No doubt whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, Ellie, what do you reckon?
Got to bring the fire. We've got to bring the cool, calm and collected on the ball. Take our time with our passing. Make sure we get the right passing. We don't just be wasteful. Because in that Newcastle game, we were a little bit wasteful with the final ball, but we got a lot of shots on. We just didn't finish our dinner. So we need to finish our dinner this time round, all right, and show them that we're strong up front as well, because we haven't been the best up front last season, and that let us down a bit, but we weren't the best defensively. But this year, I've seen a lot of improvements, like Deji point out, in defence. We're more solid as a unit. We're holding the line a lot better. We got caught out. You do that. These things happen, right? You get caught out, right? You get caught flat-footed. They're onside. They're in. They score, right? So what we've got to do is make sure we don't give any confidence to Arsenal, because they are a very good team. I don't go with Deji that they're not that good. I think they are that good, because you don't finish second in the league twice if you're not a good team.
I think what he was referring. Ellie, sorry. I think what he was referring to is that they haven't played well these first 3 games. I don't think he was saying that they were a bad side. I think he was referring to they haven't hit the straps in the first 3 games.
Yeah. So, but they can crank up the power. So we've got to be on our guard, but we've got to play our game as well, right? Our A game is as good as anybody's in the league if we hit the nail on the head and make sure that we finish our dinner, because that's the important thing at the end. The stat that shows at the end is who scored the most goals. Yeah. So we want to be coming off that pitch, winning the match with scoring the most goals. And if it be 1-0, 2-0, 3-2, whatever the score is, I'll be happy with the victory, man. I want the V. Come on, Tottenham. Get me the V. Come on.
Double V.
I would say the goals that we've conceded, though, they've been individual errors for me, and lacking concentration, and that's something that we can, rectify. We can sort that out. Especially in a game like this, they need to be dialed in. They need to be concentrated. And yeah, I just with Angie's style of play as well going forward. I think we've had so many chances in games where we could have killed off them 3 games that we've played, and we wouldn't be talking about the high line half as much, because we're being good form. And I think we played really, really well in the first 3 games. It's just them little tweaks at the back that we need to sort out. Keep concentrated, and I think everything else will come. I really do.
Right, before I come to you, Colin, let me just say, Paulio, good afternoon to you, Paulio. He's coming whilst we've been talking. Side Dancer, good afternoon. Side Dancer's coming whilst we've been talking. We've got Vindaloo here. Good afternoon, Vindaloo. Mr. M, good afternoon, Mr. M, to you, sir. Who else has come in? Angus has come in. Good afternoon, Angus. I hope you're well.
Angus?
Ryan G, did I say hello to Ryan G earlier? If I didn't, I'm saying hello to him now again. Rimanshu's always here. He's also here. Good afternoon. He loves the thumbnail. Well, that was thanks to my idea and Colin's artwork.
We did it.
Nige Pure Boys. Good afternoon, Nige. I hope you are well, sir. Nige is here as well. I'm just trying to catch up with everyone before we carry on, because we've been talking in a hype. Good afternoon, in a hype. I hope you are well as well. Bill Bez is here. Says big up Spurs fan. Big up to you as well, Bill Bez. and I think I might have caught up with it. Oh, Ben Kaufman's here. Good afternoon, Ben.
boy.
I hope you are well. And Pete, do you know what? I can't even see it because my internet's gone down on my laptop. So Peter Kagaias has given out 5 channel memberships, but I can't tell you at the moment who they've gone to.
Can I really quick too say, Pete, I didn't give you a proper thanks at the end of my show the other day. I thanked you during the show for the memberships you gave out, but thank you again. I super appreciate that and your support of me as well. I'm hijacking Jose's thanks, but thank you again, Pete. Just wanted to, I felt I had to leave early or quick or whatever, and I didn't properly say that. So, Mr. Kagaias, I appreciate you more than you know, my guy.
I think Hanno might have been the recipient of one of them because he says thank you, Peter.
Hello.
So he might have been the recipient of one of them, but I can't see at the moment because my laptop is not. Let me see if I can see it on my phone. Anyway, what I was going to say is, Colin, what do you think? What weekend, like the Ellie and Phil have said? What do you think about the weekend? Do they need pumping up? Will they be ready for the match? What do you think?
I think a lot of the players will be ready. I don't think a certain Christian Romero is going to need pumped up for a derby match. He knows how important this type of thing is. I don't think the players will need pumped up. I think they'll pump themselves up. I think they care a lot about this. They care about respect. I mean, these players, they should believe themselves to be some of the best players in the world. So, or the best of their position, or the best in the league, and they're going to want to show that. And it's easy to get pumped up too when you're playing against a small fry team like we're doing. So since we're going in against such a minnow of a team, I think that we're just gonna go in there ready for the win. But no, I mean, I guess I'm confused. Are you asking like, is Ange gonna need to pump these players up, or are they gonna pump themselves up? Is that kind of the question?
Yeah, but it's just do they need pumping up? Will they need to have be motivated by a manager or by coaching staff or anyone at all? Or will they know some of these players? It might be their first North London derby. Or will they know enough about the history? Will they know enough about the club they signed for? Or will they have to be? Or will they have to be told?
They'd already know about the London knock before they walk into the door when they signed. They'd know.
And some of these
especially
players,
the players that have already played in it. Yeah.
What's his? Why can't I think now? Bergvall. Sorry, Ellie. But Bergvall. I mean, he comes from a league where he's been playing senior football. I'm sure there are some huge derby matches that he's played in. So yeah, these guys will be ready. They know what's up. They've been on YouTube. They've probably and if for some reason they don't, as soon as they get in that stadium and the fans start to arrive, the atmosphere kicking off, I think that'll do it. If it's not already done up here for them before it starts. So yeah, I don't think they'll need much pumping up, but if they do need it, the fans, Ellie, Jose, Phil, I don't know if you're going, we'll give it to them. So
right, so sorry, just looking. Peter's memberships went out to Hugo Biz, Tony Bones THFC, Hanno, Danny Talks Sport, and Jishnu Raju.
Nice.
So they're the ones. So you'll have to thank Peter. And we've just been joined now by Mr. Daigle. Says David, please, and his blue and white army, which Ben has repeated. And we've also been joined. Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning. So Orazam, I hope you are well, sir. So we know what we've got to do, all right? We know what we've got to do. Sunday. We're of the belief as a panel that the players don't need to be gassed up by the manager or by the coaches or anything like that. We believe that they will have it, that they'll know what they need to do and they'll go out and do it. Do the crowd play an important part then?
Who's that to?
To whoever wants to take that first. Do the crowd play an important part?
Yeah.
Go on, Ellen.
Because I'm part of the crowd, right? And I'm loud and proud. I'm there to cheer on our boys like everybody else. We get into the groove, us Spurs fans, when we play Arsenal, right? But we've got to take the initiative, and we've got to see that the players are giving it 100%. And if they're not, we've got to G them up, because sometimes players lose concentration and they can be punished. So we have to be on our guard as fans as well to see these signs when the players are not, they lose focus for a little bit. They're human at the end of the day. So we've got to make sure that they know that we're there, and we've got to pump it up. We've got the bugle going. We've got the drums going. We've got the flags flying, and we've got to give it to them. Come on, you Spurs. Let's do it. Come on.
You've recovered, didn't you?
Yes.
Hey!
There's no better medicine than playing those scummy gooners.
I was going to say the tonic must be the North London derby. For those people that didn't know,
and I was born and bred in Tottenham. Come on. Yes.
We're happy to see Ellie like this, chat, because Ellie took a tumble earlier on this week and has not been herself and got injured.
On drugs, like I said. I'm not on morphine yet.
Okay, so this show should have gone out at 9 o'clock in the evening. I'm really sorry about that.
I mean by high on drugs is painkillers. That's all it is, guys. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad.
I'm putting my fingers in my ears. Sorry, Phil, go on. You're going to answer it as well.
Yeah. The crowd is massive. They've got a massive part to play in this game. We need to make it hostile to their players before they get into the stadium. We need to make it hostile for them on the pitch as well. We need to be hostile. We need to get this crowd going definitely from minute one. I've no doubt that we'll do that as well. Even if we went 1-0 down, I think we'd still, support the team in which in the way they need supporting. I think that we're going to be up for it, man. I think we're going to be up for it, but we need to be hostile. We need to make it hostile for them. That's one thing we do need to do.
And we have Sava is here, Mr. Football Heritage TV. Good afternoon, Sava. Thank you for joining us as well. So that means I've said hello to everybody. Hello to everyone.
I was muted. Sorry, Sava. I put a message just directly for you, only for you further down a little bit. But big up, Sava. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good. Well done on the achievement. I've just seen the comment, so well done on the achievement, Sava. Colin, are the crowd important?
Hell yes. When aren't the crowd important, right? I mean, yeah, for sure. But I don't think. I think in some matches you might have to worry about whether the crowd will be up for it, but I don't think this is one of those matches. I've never had the pleasure of going to a North London derby, but I assume, especially since you'll be there, Ellie and Jose, that you guys will be, giving them all the what for. I think it's going to be. I think the crowd's very important, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about them not being up for it. I mean, if we get scored on early, which could happen. I mean, we do concede early goals sometimes, so I'm not saying that's impossible. So if we get scored on early, we will really be relying on you guys, Ellie, Jose, and company to lift the team back up.
Deji's going to be there as well.
Hell yeah, we're good then. If Deji's going to be there, like I said, just throw him on the pitch. I think that Deji could help us in the striker position perhaps. But yeah, I mean, yeah, if we go down a goal early, we'll definitely need the fans to lift everybody up, not to go silent. I hate the radio silence after we concede a goal sometimes. I don't think it sets a good tone. We need to just be loud, and like Ellie said, we got the bugle, we got the drummer. We'll have the fans chanting, and as long as y'all keep doing that the whole time, I think that the boys will be good. But we can't. I really do want to emphasize the silence after getting scored on doesn't help anybody. I understand where it's coming from, but we probably shouldn't do that. but
the players certainly don't need that. If there's an early goal, we concede an early goal, then the players definitely don't want that from the fans. We need to be, on it from minute one. regardless if we concede a goal, we need to keep supporting.
And we've shown we can come back and score goals. I mean, it's not like we've never conceded a goal and then come back to win the game 2-3-1. You know what I mean? So just conceding a goal isn't a kiss of death. Obviously, it's not ideal, and you don't want to concede first. But even if we do, it doesn't mean game over. So fans are important. The crowd's important for sure.
Yeah. So the crowd's important. The being at home is important as well. As I said, it must be of importance because we actually play Arsenal at home first rather than being away, which we tend to be all the time. Like I said, the last 2 times we've played them at home first in the league season was 2020, 2011, and both of them games we won 2-1. Any early score lines for you guys at the moment without knowing team sheets and players that are playing and not playing, or are you confident to already give a prediction?
I've already said my prediction. I think we'll win 3-1. I think we'll get an early goal. I think with the players that they do have out in Rice and Odegaard, I think we can capitalise on that. And I think if we do get that early goal, I think we can just kick on from there, get the crowd going, and get some early goals, and then see it off. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet, but I think we can win this game convincingly if we are up for it from minute one.
Ellie.
Well, I said 3-0, so I'm sticking with my 3-0 because I say Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Arsenal get battered everywhere they go. Everywhere they go. Oi, oi, oi. Come on, you Spurs. Let's do it. We've got to go on that pitch, show them who's boss. We're North London. They're South London. They can get lost back to South London for all I care, right? And we've got to show them who's boss of North London. Get on that pitch and show them how to play football because we are the Spurs. We're made for football. They were made for something like crochet and netball and
basket weaving. Yeah. Absolutely.
That is a bit of disrespect. I like a bit of disrespect.
Whatever you're having, or whatever you've been doing since.
Yeah, I want someone like you're on.
I want that energy. Holy smokes!
I'm always fired up for the North London derby because it's like it's in your blood, isn't it? It's in your dreams that you're going to beat them.
Something's in your blood. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just making jokes. So.
And my blood is white, not red.
Boom, boom, boom. I love it. So wait. Phil gave his prediction.
I don't know whether I'm going to get in trouble on this stream now because you're on fire today, Ellie.
Yeah.
I only said predictions if you're comfortable in giving a prediction, or do you want to wait till you know on Friday when they have the press conferences who's in, who's out, or are you just confident to go with it now? That's what I asked, Colin.
2-0 to Spurs. Clean sheet.
Sorry, Paul.
Oh no, you're good. I paused weirdly. I usually don't give us a clean sheet. I usually don't think we're gonna get a clean sheet, but I don't know. I could see it, and especially with potentially Odegaard out. I don't know. So is he confirmed out? I wouldn't be super surprised if he plays. Sort of like how Jamie Vardy wasn't gonna play versus us, but then was magically fit at the last second. So we might see Odegaard, who knows? But as long as we have VDV, as long as Vicario doesn't palm any shots directly back into the path of the oncoming attackers.
Yeah, don't do that, Vicario.
Yeah, see, I mean, he's a good keeper, but he does silly stuff like that sometimes. But if everyone's on their game, there's really no reason not to be. I say we win 2-0, and I mean I think we get the first goal. Or I'll even say I think we get an early goal, and then I think the second one comes late, and it'll be a header from a corner. Maybe Romero scores it. First goal Sonny, second goal Romero, 2-0 win. Unfortunately, no goals for Solanke, I don't think, but he'll occupy defenders. He'll move some people around. everybody's got a role to play. You know, even if he doesn't score, he's got the attention of the defenders, or he'll have to have the attention of the defenders, leaving Sonny hopefully some room to cut in and put a curler right into the top corner. Not like he's not done it before. I posted a link in the chat a second ago of all the goals Sonny has scored against the Scum, and I think he's got another one in him. So
yeah, I think he's got a massive part to play in this game. We need to get him in positions to score, though. That's don't
you agree that Solanke occupying those central defenders, he might actually pull them away and create space for Son? Because Sonny,
I agree with that, Cole. I think Solanke can make space for Sonny with his movement, and I think he will get some good chances in the game. And who better to have them chances? You know, Sonny's one of the best finishers in the league. So on his day, so you know. I think he's got a massive part to play in this game. So my predictions is solely on Solanke and Van der Ven being fit for this game. If they're not fit for this game, then I think it will be a draw. I think it'll be a 2-2 draw. But if they are fit and ready, I think it'll be 3-1. And I think we'll get an early goal and then see him off.
So Sava, I saw this morning, he was on this morning, and he said this morning on his show. So he's just reminding me that he said it. He said, Jose, I would learn our lesson from last year and put out VDV at left back to cope with Sakkā and his pacing behind, and drag us in at centre back. Then we have Sava is saying that they're the second best team in the country and have an amazing away record.
Is Sakkā going to show up or not?
Hold on. And then Brian Daigle is saying, silly fact, if the Filth win on Sunday, they've won more times at our stadium than we have at the Emirates that opened in 2006. But don't worry, we play attacking football and good vibes. Oh, and by the way, David Pleat's Blue and White Army.
Hey, I just don't get, you know what I mean? Like, I understand being realistic, and being realistic is important, but I also, if you can't have a little blind faith and fun and belief, then what's the point? I don't know.
And then Orazan saying they will struggle without Odegaard and Rice. It's going to be long months without Odegaard.
Odegaard is definitely going to be out. He's definitely going to be out. I don't know if you've seen it on, I think it was Fabrizio Romano or one of the tweets. So anyway, I think he said the doctor come out and made a statement about his injury, and he said it's minimum 3 weeks.
That sucks. I never want people injured.
So anything longer than that is a bonus. Yeah, he's going to be definitely out.
But I've always said, and I'll always maintain, you don't want in any walk of life. Doesn't have to just be football. In any walk of life, you don't wish illness, and injury is like an illness. So injury or illness is on absolutely nobody, because one, it affects you physically, but two, it can affect you mentally as well. Whether you're a man or a woman, you don't wish injury or illness on anybody at all. I would have preferred, to be honest, to play Arsenal, their strongest 11. I would have preferred that. And if that's not to be, then it's not to be. But
it'd be a good indicator of where we are as a club, with our fully strength team and their fully strength team, you know, at home. So it'd be a good indicator. But obviously, we ain't going to see that. But you know, hopefully, they'll have a fully fit squad, and we will at their gaff, and we'll see who's got the upper hand.
I mean, if Arsenal are missing 2 players, right? I mean, I can see. I think it's been the Lou keeps putting in the chat. You're not going to beat our B team. Now, you don't just suddenly go to a B team because you've only lost 2 players. A B team is if you were down by 10, 8, 9, 10, 11 players. So you can't, Vindaloo, keep saying it's the B team because you've only lost 2 players.
From what I keep hearing, Jose, right, from the Arsenal fans, that they've got a good squad. So with these 2 players out, I know they're big players for them, but at the end of the day, they're still going to field a strong lineup. Do you know what I mean? And we have to respect that. At the end of the day, the players that will come in will be quality players. Do you know what I mean? But with the Arsenal fans, there's no excuses. You've got a good squad, like you're saying. So let's see if you've got, you know, what it takes to beat us at our gap. Let's see.
Yeah,
I know you've done it. I know you've done it numerous times before, but this time is different.
Like Delia Smith says, Lisby Avenue, Arsenal. Lisby Avenue.
Let me say good afternoon to your partner in crime, Ellie. Adrian is here, so good afternoon to the panel. We've got Nita here. She says, Arteta's so pumped. 3 games in. Here comes the slide. The red card is hot. I'm waiting for him.
Yes.
Good afternoon to you, Nita. I hope you and the family are well. Sava's saying that their last 10 away games have been 9 wins and a draw, and that was at Man City. And yet we talk of battering them. Right. We'll come back to the battering part in a second.
We've got to be optimistic, because pessimistic, I don't do it.
I don't either. I have enough pessimistic stuff in life. I don't want to drag into football.
Chris Agenbar's here. So big up, everyone. Good to see you, Ellie. I hope you're recovering well.
Yeah, well, like I said,
Ellie's feeling like $1 million right now. Yeah, Ellie's
I've got my Supreme hat on for the Supreme London Derby.
Hell yeah. Ellie's a hype beast right now. All the cool threads.
I love being hyper because, you know, I was born and bred in Tottenham, right? And I know that doesn't always resonate with some people. But, like, when you're born in Tottenham and you grew up in Tottenham and you live and breathe Tottenham, you always want your club to do well, regardless, wherever you are born. But, like, I played for Spurs as well. So I love our club, right? I love us unconditionally. And I do want us to improve. And I do want us to get better players. I do want us to have better transfer windows. And it hasn't been happening. But we've got what we've got. And we can't change it as fans right this second. But what we can do is, if we feel that the club are not doing enough, let's group together as a fan base and make our voices heard so that we do get improvements and we do have better transfer windows. Because, like it or not, we haven't been up there for 24 years. One cup in 24 years is not good enough, right? And we're going into the 25th season, right, with four youngsters that we've bought and Solanke, right? So we need to step up with the players that we've got. We can't change it now because it's done, right? All the noises should have been made before to get our club to move. But one thing I would say is that we are a great fan base. I don't believe in this thing that the fans are the problem. I don't, because they want no fan in this world wants their club to fail. That's one thing for sure. But we have to make our voices heard. So if it isn't going well, you know, let's G up the club to do something better. You know, because we haven't got the power, but we've got the power of fans. We haven't got the power of the budget, but we've got the power of fans to make a difference. Yeah, so I just hope this season is a much better season than last season, because we really did fall off the wagon at the end. And I was so disappointed the way we fell off. Was it four losses in 6? Or 5 losses in 6, and we could have easily made the Champions League or even finished 3rd because Liverpool were waning. So we just got to buck up our ideas as a club, because we're Tottenham Hotspur. We've got a fabulous history, everybody. We have, right? And now Man City have seized the power. Yeah, they've got every trophy under the sun, and I hate it. I really do. I don't know about you guys. I hate to see Man City winning everything. I don't like it. I want us to win everything.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't entitled to win everything, are we?
No, we're not entitled. But look at Man City. They've seized the power.
Man City are on a different scale to us. Different scale to us. But we have
to get to their scale then, Phil, if we want to compete.
Of course, yeah, but you know. We've gone through this before with the owners. The owners don't have the ambition to you know, get to that level, unfortunately. But hopefully, you know, our recruitment can be better than just, you know, spending God knows how much money on a player. Hopefully we can get some little gems, you know, to make our team better. You know, like going down the Brighton model. Do you know what I mean? Doing something like that. I think that's the way.
Why do we want to copy their model?
Well, no, that in terms of recruitment, Ellie, is what I'm saying. I think they find some really good players, and in time, you know, that they'll go on to better things and go to bigger clubs. And I think that's what we need to do, but keep them players, keep them, you know, our best players, and not be a feeder club to everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We need to have that ambition. And it comes from the top down, not from the bottom up. Do you know what I mean? So,
problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just wanted to speak about Sava's comment about Sakkā and playing Van der Ven left back. I'll respectfully disagree with that. I think playing Van der Ven at left back, I don't think he's got the agility to sort of, like, you know, with Sakkā being, you know, twisting and turning and, you know, doing some jinky runs. I don't think that's Van der Ven's game. I think he needs to be at left centre back to cover for Udogie if he needs recovering, you know. And I think Udogie at left back, he's had good games against Sakkā before. You know, he hasn't been up to speed this season, granted, but he played well for Italy the other night, got an assist. I think he's got the better of Sakkā. I think, you know, I think he'll be up for this game. But playing Van der Ven left back, I don't think that's going to work. I think you need to keep him at left side centre back, especially for the high line and the recovery runs as well as that.
Do you know what though, Phil? Van der Ven covers the whole of the back four. If you notice, right, he covers the right wing back, he covers the centre, and he covers the left. Because all the others have pushed up, right, and they're joining the attack. He's the one who's got the pace to recover, so he tends to sit back. He occasionally goes on a run himself and joins the attack, and when he does, it's really effective. But he's the one who's going to make those recovery runs. So I think Udogie, he hasn't hit form yet because he hasn't. His match fitness, his match sharpness hasn't been there, but he's getting there. Yeah, it takes time. He had a major injury, right? And he had the operation, didn't he? So I want to see this game. I want him to be disciplined as well, because I notice he's very young. He's only 20, isn't he? So I noticed that he gets out of position a lot, and Van der Ven was covering him quite often last season. So I want him to stay really disciplined in this match, because I remember at the Emirates, he picked up later on in the game, but early doors, he was making some really bad errors, right? So we need him to be on point this game, because he's vital to our attack as well, because he's got an engine on him.
Yeah, one thing I am a little bit worried about is obviously Postecoglou with our inverted fullbacks. We play quite high up the pitch, and they're like sort of like level with Madison, and
I know.
I worry about us getting exploited, you know, in them sort of scenarios where, you know, Sakkā will be in a lot of space, or Martinelli or Trossard will be in a lot of space because of our inverted fullbacks being so far up. And that's one thing I do worry about. I think we need to keep at least one fullback. You know, in Udogie, I think Porro can forward and put crosses in for Solanke. I think we need to make it a 3 at the back and not bring Udogie so far forward, because I think he has to be disciplined with Sakkā, and he needs to be, you know, sort of touch tight or, you know, a couple of yards off him. I think he needs to stay back in a 3, not go far forward.
Yeah, I'm confident though. If he gets past Udogie, Sakkā beats him. He won't beat him for pace. That's one thing for sure. But if he does get round him with his trickery, or he's a clever footballer, Sakkā, no doubt. But I think Van der Ven's got him. He's going to be a second one who'll be over there to make.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think like him playing left side centre back is he can cover for Udogie if Saka gets the better of him in certain situations, I think Van de Ven can sort of mop that up. It's like when we played Newcastle and Isak was up against Van de Ven and he was twisted and turning him, he put him on his arse. You know what I mean? So, you know, in that situation, I don't think that's his strong point in his game. I think playing a Doji left back can deal with Saka's pace. It's just all about whether his positioning is going to be on point.
Yeah. Well, we only got 1 out of 6 points last season. So a win on Sunday, we've already bettered that. So I see Brian Daigle's comment. Yeah, it's true. It's true what he says. So we have to get the upper hand again over Arsenal, and show them that we mean business this season, because they've been very strong, right? And it's going to be a bloody tough game. I know I predicted 3-0 because I'm always confident, but I think we have to be on our A game to beat them. Yeah, we can't be slacking. If we play like we did against Everton and we press them high, with Solanke as well pressing, because he's fantastic at pressing, I must admit. He's very impressive. So we have to be on them like flies are to shit. You know what I mean? We have to be on, like when I don't know, Jose, I've got to mention your player, Lucia Garcia, your namesake, against Spurs in the FA Cup final. They were absolutely on us, Man United, in that game. We've got to do the same to Arsenal. We've got to be on them so that they don't have the freedom of play, because they can knock it about. They're very good at passing, Arsenal. They overpass, yes, they do, but they can penetrate us, so we've got to be on our guard. And we make sure that we get the victory. Because if they don't, I'll be crying all the way home to Enfield.
Hey, Brian.
Good afternoon, Mr. Daigle.
Good afternoon, people. How
There
are
you go.
We're positive
Fine.
as heck
How are
in
you,
here, so yeah.
I'm good. I can see he's still in the chat. I just want to say congratulations to Sava. Massive milestone. Damn proud of my brother Sava. Keep up the good work, brother. Damn proud of him. But yeah, how is everyone in the chat? How is everyone on the screen? How are you, Ellie? How are you feeling?
I'm all right.
Have you been ill, though?
Like I said, I'm on painkillers. I'm on painkillers, Brian. So the pain is dull.
That'll be me next week. I've got my surgery Monday. So hopefully I get put to sleep, get to reminisce of a North London derby victory rather than a North London nightmare.
Yeah,
we shall see.
What are your thoughts then, Brian?
Well, my thoughts on it. Right now, calm. I'm always calm. The night before the North London derby, I'm a nightmare. I stay up all night watching reruns of all our victories or best moments or best goals. Wake up the next morning. I've got to get up early to get to the Scotland Yard. Get there, everything's pumping. I think we've got about 300 people minimum at the yard this time.
Quite cool.
Once the fixture list comes out, that final hour feels like a week and a half. And then what will be, will be. What will be, will be. And we're going to have to wait and see. Form goes out. Listen, Sava's right there. Away form is incredible. Unfortunately, but once the referee blows that whistle, who knows what's about to happen. But we'll see. But most importantly, David Pleat and his Blue and White Army should be sung around that ground non-stop, in my honest opinion. But we'll see what happens in the North London derby. It all depends on who we've got as well, if everyone's fit.
You know how clueless Daniel Levy is, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? With them comments about David Pleat, and you know, it's just baffling, man. It's absolutely baffling.
I come in peace. I come in peace. But there's all I will say on that is there's loads of pressure building up on Ange for whatever reason. If the game isn't going well, direct it at Ange, direct it at one man. But yeah, we'll see what happens with the NLD. Van de Ven, I agree with Sava. If Van de Ven is fit, put him on the left wing and just let him nullify Sakkā. and I prefer Van de Ven in the centre, but I think he's absolutely right. I've come and spread the joy. You've all gone quiet.
We thought
Exactly.
I just
What
the,
are you doing?
the yeah, we were just waiting for you.
Yeah, I respectfully disagree as well. Dago, I can't see Van de Ven playing left back, man. I can't.
Needs to.
I just think he'll get twisted inside and out with Sakkā.
Nah.
I don't think that's his game. I think, playing at centre back and recovering for a Dogi, or them long balls over the top, or through the channels. I think that's where he's needed most. If he plays left back, I think Sakkā will get the better of him. He'll have the pace. I think he'll have the pace, but it's just
agility.
Just whether he's agile enough to deal with Sakkā. I think he's best suited at centre back.
So I think that if he plays left back, I think he'll help the centre backs a lot.
Cheers, Brian.
But,
Sorry, say it again, Colin.
Oh, I was saying if he plays left back, he will end up having to help the center backs quite a bit because his pace is just necessary. So then whoever's playing on the left up top, which would probably be Sonny, will have more defensive duties than I would like him to have because Sonny isn't the best defender. I don't know. I mean, it's not a terrible idea at all. I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know how well it would work. I see it in theory. It makes sense. I can understand the reasoning behind it. But I just... I don't know. So you don't have any. So Brian, clearly you don't think he'll have any problems with Sakkā. You don't think that like the agility factor, because we know in a straight line he can beat anybody in a race. But I haven't seen him do a lot of, I don't know, close man marking. A lot of his stuff is run is you know what I mean though, is chasing a ball in a straight line.
We'll have a field day on the left hand side or on the right, and if there's the one problem we've seen, and I'm a huge fan of Destiny's, but he gets caught out, and then that whole space is left out there. Arsenal haven't got the pace through the centre to have to worry about their pace, and especially if Sterling is playing as well. My God, if Sterling makes his debut there as well, Sterling and Sakkā down the wings, that is just pure pace going down the wings, and that's where we need to nullify him. That's where, especially if Odegaard and Rice is out. Well, Rice is out. If Odegaard is out as well, their creativity down the middle is gone. It's all going to come down the wings. And Van de Ven taking on Sakkā, I feel a lot more comfortable with. A lot more comfortable with. I didn't want Van de Ven to go out on the left side last season. I thought we were taking the best thing away from us, but against Man City was immense. Look what Jan Vertonghen did against Borussia Dortmund when we had to put someone there. Yes, do I think Van de Ven should always be centre-back mainly? 100%. But there's certain games where you have to worry about the strengths of the opposition. And love him or hate him, Bukayo Saka is a major, major threat to Tottenham Hotspur. And Van de Ven is probably the one that can probably keep him quiet.
I see the reasoning. I see where you're at, 100%. I
don't think Ange is going to do that.
That's a different question, Phil.
I don't think Ange is not going to risk that sort of, planning, putting Van de Ven at left back. I can't see him doing that 100%. But I see what you're saying. I'll just say again that Doji, I think he's had good games against Sakkā in the past. Granted, he hasn't played well in the last 3 games, and a little bit of last season. But I've no doubt that he'll get back to his best. But he needs that with game time. So, I think we need to have a Doji at left back simply for his attacking play as well. But we can't have him too forward a lot of the time. He needs to be a bit, he needs to be on Sakkā a lot of the time. So I think Van de Ven needs to play centre back in my eyes.
Good times, eh? Good times.
Well, we're gonna. I mean, wherever Van de Ven plays, he's going to be covering for people. He's going to, I think that he'll help to nullify Sakkā, whether he's left center back or left back. I think that he'll be tasked with that. I think that, and I think he'll do a good job. So we know he's everywhere across that defense anyway. Helping out whoever needs it. I wonder who our midfield three are going to be. That's the one thing that I have a little bit of not worry about, but that'll be important because we're going to need somebody to obviously help in defensively there. But
hold on.
Well, yeah.
Good afternoon, Sava.
What's up,
He's in
buddy?
a different location.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, mate?
There you go,
All right.
there you
Listen. It's your first time on this channel. Welcome, mate. Welcome.
Hello, mate. Yeah. Listen, I've got 20 odd minutes. So I thought Daigle sent me the link. Apologies, I've not got my usual.
I've lost your number because I said to Brian, "Can you pass this on to Sava?" Because I've lost your number.
Yeah, I changed my number. No.
That's probably why then. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, you can have it. I just changed it because of
that's fine.
threats and stuff. So,
Yeah.
Being an Arsenal fan and all that. How is everyone?
Yeah, we're all good. I was seeing
Yeah,
your
all good,
comments,
man.
seeing your comments on there. I thought let's get Sava on because we are a friendly channel here, so you won't get all the murder that you get everywhere else, mate. So I said no, let's bring him on. So can I just say hello to? Let me just say hello to some people. Tequila, who's come in while we've been talking. Who else came in? Drula, James loves Spurs. Round table talk. Good afternoon to you all. So, Sava, you were saying your comments that you were saying. We read some of them out. You disagreed with Phil on some of them, or Phil disagreed with some of your comments and that. I've heard your comments because I saw your show this morning. So, but for other people that may not have heard it, go on then. What's Sunday?
Look, for me, I just look. I get it. Like I hear what Ellie and Phil saying. We've got to be positive, and I get all that. And I just think for me, the difficulty is I haven't seen anything from Tottenham for a very, very, very long time to suggest we're just going to rock up and batter them like people say. I feel like, the buzz, the adrenaline of the North London derby gets people going and it gets them saying things that they know aren't true, Phil. But, if we're gonna sit there and say things like, "Oh, we're gonna batter them," I think we've got to take into account a few things here.
I haven't said that.
I know, not you. I just think that Arsenal, they're missing a couple of players, but I think that Spurs fans are projecting our squad deficiencies onto Arsenal, and what I mean by that is, if we miss a couple of top players, it is the end of the world. Right, it is the end of the world. I think if Arsenal are missing a couple of top players, I don't think it is the end of the world because, for example, if you're going to bring in a Jorginho, he's an experienced player, been there, seen it, done it, played for the biggest clubs in world football, won things with Italy, won things with Chelsea. This is a seasoned pro. Trossard, who will probably drop into that midfield area. That's a quality player that I think we all agree we would love at Tottenham Hotspur, and we all wanted him. So I just don't think it's as simple as, Rice and Odegaard aren't playing, we win. My concern, Jose, with all of this, it isn't the midfield. It really isn't the midfield. I'm seeing teams with a lot weaker midfields figure out Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, Leicester City, first half, all over them. Second half, they kind of figured out, okay, let's just quickly play that ball over the top or down the channel. They figured us out. But for Jamie Vardy finishing, should have won that game, if we're going to be brutally honest. Then you look at, forget Everton. They're the worst. I think that's probably the worst Premier League team I think I've ever seen. Then you go to Newcastle. Again, Joe Linton's not known for being a superb midfielder. But again, one pass undid the whole of Tottenham Hotspur's midfield and defence. So for me, I think this is going to be more. I think this is going to be more about, have we learned how to defend properly? And this is where, when Phil was disagreeing with me, of course, we all disagree with each other. No problem there. I just think I'm not talking about the one-on-one. I'm not talking about if Van der Ven is standing up Sakkā and Sakkā could twist him inside out.
That's what I was getting across. You know, I don't think Van der Ven in that scenario, in that situation, can sort of deal with Sakkā. I think his game is, you know, recovery. I don't think, like, you know, he's got the agility to deal with Sakkā. You know, I think he'll just twist him up. I think he's Go on.
I feel I was coming more from the point of not one-on-one, not when you've got a left back standing up a winger. I'm talking about if you actually look where a Udogie is most of the times when teams attack us, he's absolutely gone in no man's land.
Yeah, I said this.
That's my concern. I mean, we watched futtobōru of Leicester. He tore a Udogie a new one. I mean, he battered him from pillar to post in that second half. And I just feel that Sakkā getting him behind, this is the next level up. Look, I'm not saying we can't beat them, guys. I'm not.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, contrary to belief, I'm a Spurs fan and would love to see Spurs beat Arsenal. I just don't think it's going to be this straightforward game that many seem to think it is. I think it's a massive game, but I think it's going to be really tough. I do.
I was just wanting to make a point about Udogie going so far forward. I said to Jose and these lot before, I think Udogie has to be disciplined. He has to stay in a back three. I think Porro can go forward. And I think Udogie has to be disciplined with Sakkā. I don't think he has to be so far forward. I don't think he's more effective than Porro. I think Porro's more effective going forward, but I think
Porro's 10 times the player of Udogie. Let's not. Porro's a brilliant player going forward.
You know, I think we benefit from having Udogie just in a back three and just you know being more disciplined in that area. I think we'd be better off if we were set up like that. But I don't think Ange's going to do that.
No,
he's going to have our fullbacks going forward, and that's going to be it.
My worry is I love, in theory, I love what we're trying to do with the whole possession thing, right? Because that is my preference and style of football. The problem is we're a team that have so much of the ball, and I think then as fans we cling on to that, right? Like, oh my God, we had 70% possession, and I think the problem is it's the turnover, isn't it? We just haven't got to grips with that turnover. And it might only be 3 occasions a game, 4 occasions a game. But I believe we've had something like 7 shots on goal against us this season, which in theory is good. But when 3 or 4 of those have ended up in the back of our net, you're nearly looking at every other opportunity on goal goes in. So I just think we need to find that balance between having all that possession and leaving ourselves wide open at the back. But
are these goals avoidable, though, Sabah? You know, the goals that we've conceded, are they avoidable? Because for me, they're individual errors where, like, you know, it's just lack of concentration for me.
All 3 goals this season of Romero's been at fault for all 3.
Yeah,
Romero has for quite a lot of it. Yeah, I'm one of his biggest fans. Like, you know what I mean?
We've conceded 3, and he was at fault.
No.
We've conceded 3, and he was at fault for all 3. He came out of position for the Leicester cross, didn't he? For the Leicester cross. For the first goal against Newcastle, it was their corner. The ball got headed out. Romero's careered 40 yards out to chase the ball down, to close the players down, and the ball went out for a throw-in. Romero still walking back. The ball got put into where Romero should have been. And then the ball that Joe Linton put through, he was standing in the wrong position, body shape, for when that ball was put through. Yeah. So for me, I think all 3 goals that we've conceded this season can be put down to Romero being at fault.
I think they're avoidable, Jose.
I agree they're avoidable. I'm just saying Romero's been at fault.
I agree with you. I know Romero seems untouchable. If you try and criticize Romero, it World War III kicks off.
Because he's standing good looking, that's why.
I'll take your word for that, Eddie. I mean, I don't look at him and get all sort of. He's no do it for me like Ginola did it.
No, he's not no Ginola, I suppose.
I don't think. I don't.
Biggest fan.
Yeah, but I have to say very quickly, I don't think Romero's at fault for the Newcastle second goal.
No,
I really don't. I think he's the only one moving forward.
Yeah,
to play
he
everyone offside. The others are
Degushi.
running back. So whether you,
Yeah.
I've seen people try to blame Romero for Leicester. You can, I think you can for the first goal. I think there's two ways of looking at this. If people are saying Romero should have been organising that line and blah blah. I look at it. Romero's running that way to play it offside. The others are running that way because they're scared.
Yeah, but Brian, right? He should have the same body shape as all the other three defenders. He should be on, going backwards the way that the other three defenders are. I think he's playing a risky game, pushing up.
Romero's not playing a risky game. The whole
pushing up.
Have been playing a risky game with the way we play football. The whole defence is about risk.
Can I give an ABC on this? Can I give an ABC?
It's risk high reward, isn't it? But sometimes we don't get the reward.
I think Brian is absolutely spot on. The way that the defence is set up, the whole thing is risky. You have to play, if you're going to play, Ellie, you've played, if you play a high line on a halfway line, it is literally 50-50 with every ball over the top as to whether the team scores or not. That's not me. That's kind of fact, right?
You know why he's doing that, though, Summer, don't you? You know why he's playing the high lines like that.
Yeah, I get it, Phil. I get it. But the problem is, if you are not Man City's back four with Rodri, with those world-class footballers to play that game, doing that is risky. Look, but that's the A. The B, somebody is at fault for that line because Romero's facing one way. Let's just assume hypothetically right now I'm blaming Romero. I'll blame the other three in a second before Jacob has a go at me in the chat.
I'm with you, Jacob.
He hates it. Let's assume Christian Romero is in the wrong for that first goal. Romero's facing this way like that, right? The other three are all like this, going that way, right? Let's assume that's him. Now let's assume it's the other three. All three of them, we're saying, all three of them didn't get the memo and that Romero's the only one with the memo. That doesn't make sense to me that all three of them went, sod Romero, who's our captain at the back. He's one of our leadership team. So we're saying that they've all completely disregarded what he's told them and they're all going back whilst he's stepping up.
Is that a lack of concentration from his part and not knowing where the attacker is behind it? Do you know what I mean? I mean, three players, against one player for me, I think that the three defenders were in position to recover the ball if it was going through. Do you know what I mean? And Romero, if he was in line with the defenders and his body was facing exactly the same way as the other defenders are, I think we recover that ball back.
But Phil, can you say the one thing, right? The one thing, whether he was at fault or not, I don't care about that, right? The one thing that no one, I don't care if you are the biggest Romero fan in the world, one thing that cannot be disputed is that on both goals, he just jogged back to our own area. And that for me, even Jacob's got to agree with this one. That for me is criminal. He is watching teams attack us and he's just jogging back from midfield. And if you watch it in real time, the second goal, he jogs back. Two players, one from Spurs and one from Newcastle, actually pass him as they're both trying to get back to the goal, one to attack and one to defend. And then
you're talking about the Barnes goal?
No. I'm talking about
the second goal.
Right? He jogs back. When the ball actually hits our net, Romero hadn't even made it to our D. He hadn't even made it to our D.
It looks like he only made 20 yards in the whole movement. He was still 30 yards away from goal. He's made 20 yards from the whole movement.
There's no excuses for that. There's no excuses for that. No, there isn't. I'm not going to make any excuses for that. At the end of the day, he should be making that ground up. He should be busting a gut to get into the box. Do you know what I mean? He's on.
Do you all think he's fed up with this style of play?
Before you carry on this conversation, I need to go. I need to go prepare for evening brews.
Yeah, I do.
So I will say goodbye to everyone. Sava, I'm going to say it again. I've said it before. Damn proud of you, brother. Congratulations. Here's looking forward to many, many more milestones. Being sober is the better way to be in this world. And long may it continue, brother. Honestly, you and we speak about it a lot. I'm damn proud of you. Always, brother. You know I'm always here for you, like you've always been here for me. Everyone else, much love. And as always, David Pleats, Blue and White Army. But most importantly, Levy out.
Yeah.
So that,
I was just going to say, I have a call. I took a call and I have to get ready for work early too. So I apologize, but I have to leave early as well.
No worries.
Come on, you Spurs.
See you later, Cole.
And I will see everybody soon. Hey, Sava, it was nice to see you, Sava. I don't think we've ever shared the screen, so it's been nice, man.
Good to meet you, bro. Listen, I'm sure we'll do something soon.
Please, let's do it. See you, man.
See you later, Cole. So I was going to ask you, Sava, because obviously we've gone round and we asked this question a lot earlier in the show, right? So the way I think where we're looking positive, right? Or where I'm looking positive, I'm not going to speak for the others now, is that I believe, and it's my belief, it's no facts, it's just my belief, right? Is that Tottenham, for me, have looked better in the first 3 games this season than what we did in the first 3 games of last season, and we've already taken a loss against Newcastle. And we were unbeaten in the first 3 games last season, and I just think that we look better and we've played better than what we did in the first 3 games last season. Now, obviously, it's hard to quantify because you're playing against different teams. Yeah. Last season's first 3 games were against a different first 3 games that we played this season. But I was at the Everton game, and obviously being at the match, you get to see a lot more than on the screen. It just shows us where the pattern of play is, doesn't it? We're following the screen. At the ground itself, you can see a lot more. And the only criticism I had on the day from Tottenham against Everton was that Romero just held on to the ball for that tad bit too long. Maddison kept making diagonal runs to get in behind their centre-backs, and he was waiting for the pass to come through from Romero, the diagonal across, like Alderweireld used to play. And the amount of times that Maddison kept making that run, and you know what? He got pissed off because the ball weren't coming, and he still continued making them runs. And that's the only criticism I'd have. I saw across the pitch all the overloads that we were creating, but we just weren't getting the ball out quick enough. We were getting it out to Odegaard in the first half, but we had other overloads on the other side as well that we weren't getting out quickly enough. So being at the stadium and watching the game is totally different to watching it on TV. And my belief is, from what I've seen so far this season, even though we've taken a loss, I think we've played better the first 3 games than what we played the first 3 games last season.
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult one, isn't it? Because I suppose it all depends on what we all think a word means, right? Like when we say better, I mean,
so shall I quantify the press in the first game, led by Solanke in the first game. At Everton, it was led by Son, and we pressed as a team. It wasn't like we were doing it in pockets. We did it as units. Do you see what I mean?
Agree,
and it worked well.
I do agree. I think the difficulty is when we're trying to summarize it with these first 3 games is two of the 3 teams we've played, let's be brutally honest, are going to be in a relegation battle. Like, I mean, if Everton at the moment, they look woeful.
They look sharp.
They look shocking. And Leicester, for as much as I've got friends who are Leicester City season ticket holders, I just think it's going to be a long, hard season for them. So, yes. In catch, I mean, listen, they've got Skip and Winks as their central midfield. So
no.
If we're looking at patterns of play like pressing, people can talk about the number of chances created. Yes, it's been good. The thing for me, Joe, Jose, is and this is where I think I get misconstrued a lot with my opinion of Spurs, is it's not that I don't think there's anything positive going on there. It's at what stage does that have to stop being talk and actually start being walk? And yeah, we're only 3 games into a season. The longer it goes like this, the extension of having not beaten anyone good goes on for a long time. The extension of poor form goes on for a long time. The number of games we lose goes on for a long time. And I think that everyone in the fan base seems to think there's going to be this magical moment where we just click and everything falls into play. But I'm just not sure it will on a consistent basis, all the while playing this high line. I truly believe with this high line, let me explain this. Sorry, Jose. A lot of people.
I understand what you're saying.
Once the forward line is sorted, but by the way, we sorted the forward line and we didn't buy what we needed. But once the forward line is sorted, we'll be okay. For me, I don't think scoring goals is necessarily the issue when you look at the number of goals we've scored under Ange Postecoglou. The overwhelming factor is the number of goals conceded. So no matter how many you score the other end, if we keep conceding the goals we're conceding, bearing in mind we haven't played anyone of note yet, that is where I just don't think the consistency is going to come. So I think we've played better in aspects to round off. I do feel, though, that I want to judge it once we've played Villa, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea, United. I want to judge it once we've played teams that will punish us if we don't shore it up. So,
on the other side of the coin, then, Sav, because we were talking about this earlier as well. It's well before you came on, and I think it's well before you came into the chat as well. We were saying, or I was saying, I'm going to speak for myself. I'm going to say I was saying, Arsenal have not looked impressive in the first 3 games this season. They look like they've got their results, and they were ground because they've not been absolutely. Last year they were on fire. They were on fire, Arsenal. But the first 3 games this season, they got 7 points, but you wouldn't say it's convincing Arsenal from last season. Do you see what I mean?
Sign of a good team, though, isn't it? Playing badly. And
it is a sign of a good team.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is a sign of a good team. But what I'm saying, though, is that, they haven't looked at it. They haven't looked 100 like they did last season.
They haven't been their maximum best, no. I don't think.
Wouldn't you say that people were saying this at the beginning of last season about Arsenal as well? This for me is the same syndrome that people have every year about Man City. Man City will get to November, December, drop a couple of games, and then everyone goes, "Oh, they're not as good as last year," right? And then Pep gets them in January and goes, "Right, guys, do you fancy going on a 20-game unbeaten run?" And then they all go, "Yeah, let's do that." I'm not saying Arsenal are that, but let's be fair. Arsenal against Wolves, 2-0 at home, comfortable. A tricky away game at Villa, 2-0. Right, Brighton, who knows because of the sending off. But listen, Arsenal have had a much more difficult start than we have to the campaign. They've got 7 points. But if you saw the video I did earlier, I think you were in there, Jose. You saw the video I did earlier. I think this game is so important for both clubs.
Yeah.
Oh, massive.
If we don't win it, I think this is our worst start for years. Like years and years and years, this will be our worst start. If they don't win it, they could potentially be, in a week and a half's time, they could be 8 points off of Man City after 5 games. Yeah. That's a title race gone. So, huge game. Yeah, Arsenal aren't playing great. But you know what? In all of this, we're saying they're not great. They're not conceding goals, right? They're not losing games. And their defence looks rock solid. So, I think
Rice is a massive miss for him, though, Savio. I think he's their engine in their midfield, and he covers the most ground. I've said this on your channel recently. He covers the most ground out of Partey and Odegaard is further forward, but between him and Partey, I think Rice is he's that engine, and I think he'll be a massive miss for him. And Odegaard, with his creativity, he pulls the strings for him. And, you know, having Havertz drop it, I think he's going to drop Havertz back. I think, you know, he's a totally different player to Odegaard, totally different. And
sure.
I think,
do you not think Arteta knows how to get in behind us? And this is the thing. If you watch when Arsenal went down to Brighton,
he's going to change his tactics. I think
change his tactics.
Yeah,
and this is the difference between Arteta and Postecoglou. We won't change our tactics for love nor money. You watch. I reckon Arteta. I don't know him, by the way. I don't know him. By the way, before you all have got, I don't know him. I reckon he'll say to his players for the game, don't worry about them having the line and share of possession. Yeah. You know they're going to have the ball. You know they're going to be up the pitch. And I think that he'll utilise Raheem Sterling and Sakkā as outballs. That's my biggest concern. It's not that we won't have a lot of the ball. It's not that we can't dominate the game in terms of possession. It's that I think they'll know from the last couple of years what to do against us. But
it's how we use that possession, though. You know what I mean? We need to make it count. Do you know what I mean? We can't just be, you know, sideways, you know, back to the defence. It needs to be constructive. It needs to be, you know what I mean? In the chances that we do have, I believe we will get chances in the game. We have to take them. We have to take them, especially against a team like Arsenal. You can do it against teams like Everton and Leicester, but Arsenal's a totally different team.
But they're so well drilled.
They're very well disciplined.
Yeah.
They're so disciplined in their defensive work, and they work so hard for one another. And their passing is better than ours. I must admit, their passing is better than ours. You know, they hardly ever lose the ball. They're very crisp with their passing, and they know they've got a structure to their attacking play. Like Odegaard and Sakkā have got a really good understanding, right? But with Odegaard missing, I think they're going to lose something there. So we've got an opportunity. I think we can beat them, but it's going to be bloody hard. I said 3-0 because sometimes I go off on a whim, but I think we can win 1-0. I think 1-0 is more realistic. Or 2-1 or a 2-1. But we have to be on our A game to beat them because they're a bloody good side. They really are.
See, Elliot, I agree. By the way, you've not seen me on any channel on my own or anything ever say we can't beat them. I've predicted a draw, but I'm not saying we can't beat them. I think what Phil just said there about what we do with the possession is key because, like we saw, look how much possession Newcastle didn't have versus Tottenham. But they had the best pass of the game from Joelinton, goal. And this is the thing. Arsenal are so... people could talk all day long about best 11s, but Arsenal's back four is rock solid. It is absolutely rock solid. And one thing, if you look at the Newcastle game and the Leicester game, on paper we created chances, but not really many clear-cut chances. And this is the thing. Arsenal will we're not going to create 20 chances against Arsenal. So Phil's right. We've got to make sure we gobble them up, whether or not that is whether Solanke's fit, whether or not it's Son through the middle. I just think this is going to be a real tough game, and I will take a point. I chop my hand off now for a point. I will.
Yeah. I said 3-1. I said 3-1. That was with Solanke and Van der Ven.
Yeah.
If we didn't have them in the team, I was exactly the same as you, Savvy. It was going to be a 2-2. It was going to be a draw, but yeah.
I got the links in because I prepared the stream days ago, and I've got the links for the other channels there. But I've just put Sava's there for people that haven't already gone on to him. Go to Sava, support him at Football Heritage TV. The link's in the chat for everybody. So if you haven't done so already, please go over to Sava.
It's got a very innovative start with the graphics. Sava has really nice. I love it.
It does what?
The innovative intro that you've got with the graphics. I like it.
I went away from all the. I used to have like 4-minute intros, and do you know what? I just thought, oh, sod this. It's got a 15-second intro. I want to talk about.
You've got to get your mush on earlier. You've got to get your mush on earlier.
Some people don't want the mush. Look, I think it's interesting, guys. I think we kind of know what we're going to do, don't we? In terms of Spurs, we know the back four. We know what the midfield's going to be if Bissouma's out. And realistically, it's going to be Son, Solanke. And then the only question mark is another on the right, whether that's Johnson, Odegaard, or Kulu. For me, the bigger intriguing point for me is going to be when the teams are announced is what do Arsenal do? That for me is going to be really, really intriguing as to what they do up front. If I was them, sorry to say it, guys, if I was them and I wanted to beat Arsenal, I wouldn't play a centre forward. I'd drop Havertz into midfield and I'd just play Sterling, Sakkā and Martinelli as a very quick front three.
And that's just interchange it.
All I would do, Phil, and I would just keep knocking it over the top and down the channels to Sterling, Sakkā and Martinelli. That is all I would do because
I think that's what he's going to do. I think he's going to play Trossard. I think he's going to play Trossard as the 9 or as a false 9. And then he's going to play Martinelli or Sterling on the left with Sakkā on the right. I think he's going to go for pace. I can see it a mile off. Who
do you think our midfield three is going to be then? Because if Bissouma's out, who do you think the 3 will be?
Sarr, Bentancur, Madison. Done.
Yeah.
Really? Do you not think? Do you not think he'll play with Kulu?
I think he might play Kulu there. You know,
Kulu, Madison, and Bentancur.
I just don't think it's. I don't think. Listen, if you're going to do that at home to Everton, sure. I think if you're gonna play 2 attacking midfielders in your 3 at home to the team with the best away record in the country,
yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a gamble, isn't it?
I think
we can afford. I think we can afford to do that though, because I think if they're going to play Jorginho and Partey, I think we can with Kulu. You know, with his travelling of the ball, and I think he brings so much to our play. I think he could be a nuisance in that midfield. I think he can get the better of a Jorginho. I think we could capitalise on that, but it's not a given that Kulu is going to be in there. But I think Slaven might be right. It might be Sarr and
I'm all for
it.
I think Kulu brings a little bit. I think he brings a lot more than Sarr does. I think he's better on the ball. I think Sarr is a busybody and he gets around the pitch.
Yeah.
His best work is getting stuck in and you know, he's that engine in midfield. But on the ball, he's not a Kulu. Kulu can hold up that play. He can bring others into play. And Sarr isn't that for me.
No,
I
defensively though, I think this is the question, right?
Yeah.
If you
it's difficult, man.
If you play 2 attacking midfielders, that their natural game isn't going to be to snuff out danger. If Arsenal do break, I just think we're asking for it big time.
I just think it's the right time to put Kulu in there with a Madison and just have Bentancur there. I think this is the time. I think this is the time to strike with Rice being out. I think, especially with Odegaard as well. I think we need to be more offensive in that midfield and take the initiative. Get the words out.
We can still play Kulu in the pocket, right? So like he'll be a false 9, and we can still play Bentancur, Sarr, and Madison, and then have Solanke and either Johnson or Odegaard. We can still do that.
Where's Sonny then?
Yeah, Sonny needs to play, doesn't he?
Yeah, Sonny will be on the left. Then what we do then, we play Kulu like we did against Everton, like let him have that roaming role. And then if it's not working, then bring Johnson on for the late. Because Johnson's fantastic at coming on late. He's rubbish when he starts. He really is.
Solanke needs to play for me. He's the best presser in the team.
It all depends, doesn't it? I mean, look, first of all, the question's got to be if Solanke is fit, right? Let's be fair. This guy hasn't had a pre-season. He's had 190 minutes since May, if I'm not wrong, right?
He had a pre-season with Bournemouth. He was left out the last game. The last game before he signed for us, he was left out of that squad to play that friendly. So he had done the pre-season with Bournemouth up until then.
Okay, so
it's not had our pre-season.
It's different playing for us than Bournemouth, though, isn't it? We play totally different to what they do.
They better have got him on the circuit training.
So in the last month to 6 weeks, we're saying that Solanke's played one game, right, of football. I suppose the question is, and listen, this is for the club, right? Anything's for the club. We're just stupid football fans that sit around and talk about it, right? Yeah. Is if he's not 100% fit, putting him in for this game and asking him to press against top defenders like Saliba and Gabriel could be our undoing. I don't know. He could, for all I know, he could be as fit as a fiddle. If he's not fit and we ask him to do that, it will show, because I thought it really showed against Leicester. I thought as the game wore on, I think you could start to see he didn't look fit. His touch, his control, I thought he started to look a little bit tired, and he's not played since then. So
I thought he was quite sharp. I thought his movement was sharp. It was just his finishing that was off it. I thought his movement was good, but
a lot of his control was he was okay. He was okay. I don't think he did anything wrong, but I didn't think he did anything that made me.
I think Van der Ven and Solanke. I think Ange is left. I think he could have played against. They could have played against Newcastle, but he didn't want to risk it. I think he felt he had enough. I think he felt he had enough in the team to get a result, and we did play well. We should have got something out of the game. I believe, but yeah, I think Solanke and Van der Ven. I think they're going to be fit. I think he saved them for this game.
I've got no doubt they both start. I've got no doubt they both start. But I agree with Ellie. I think what I would do is, I think Sonny has to go left, Solanke up top, and then I would have Kulu as a false 7. Even if I think that's made up. Do you know what I mean?
More an inside forward or something like that, rather than a winger.
Yeah, because I think if you start one of the wingers, the proper wingers, and I don't think Kulu's a proper winger, I don't think they're going to have enough about them to go past Timber at left back. You know, Brennan Johnson isn't a guy that beats his man for skill, and this is different level of opposition. So I would do that and then bring Johnson to run at them, or Odegaard to run at them with tired legs.
Yeah.
But yes, Rice is out. I know we put a lot of energy into Rice being out, but still, if they've got Jorginho and Partey, let's be fair. If you said our midfield 2 for the season was going to be Partey and Jorginho over the 3 we've got, I'll take that all day long. So it's not a bad midfield. It's not a bad midfield in any way, shape or form. I think we've got to, just because Jorginho's different to Rice, right? Jorginho put his foot on the ball. He'll calm it down.
I don't think he's half the player he was a few years back. I think he's
slowed down.
I think he has slowed down. He's never been quick, has he? He's never been quick. He's been more of a deep line playmaker, sort of. You know what I mean? He does dictate play. He's good at that. But
do you remember last season, though, Phil? If you remember last season, Arsenal, for a run of games, had to put Jorginho in the midfield. And everybody, and I think it was against teams like Arsenal and City, and everyone said, "Oh, Jorginho, they're going to get over on in midfield," and he was outstanding. And he for me, not at this age now, but that is everything we're missing to sit in front of our back four. Not him now, but that style of footballer to sit there. So look, I don't think they're as depleted as. I think we're getting a little bit too happy about how bad Arsenal are going to be. So I'll take a draw.
Well, what's interesting, right, is that we're talking about the game, and we're talking about. Do you know what? Arsenal ain't confident. There's should I say their channels? Their channels ain't confident about going in this game, and what we're saying about certain players and stuff like that. If you're watching the Arsenal channels from what they're coming out with, cool, they're slamming some of their players as well. So their fan base is no different to ours. Is what I was going to say.
You know what,
It seems to
though?
be all fan bases seem to be the same.
Saving face though, Jose. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. A lot of it is so that if they lose, they can go. We didn't think we were going to win with our injury.
No, but forget this game. If you, some of them, I mean, we've got some in the fan base. We know this already. Some in the fan base, or especially on social media, have started this "Ange Out" campaign already, right? But they're
not me.
No one said you. No one said you. But the Arteta Out campaign has been going on for a season and a bit now. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that what we see within our fan base ourselves happens at other fan bases as well. It's not just about this game coming up. It happens in other fan bases as well. So, you know.
Of course, I think we're all very reactionary as football fans, aren't we? And look, I mean, Jose, when games like this happen, I prepare myself for one of three reactions depending on the score, right? If Spurs win the game, I'll start receiving hate as though I wanted Arsenal to win and as though I hate Tottenham. If Spurs lose the game, I'll start receiving hate based on you wanted us to lose anyway, you hate Tottenham Hotspur. And if Spurs draw the game, Sava always thinks he's right. So we all have those fans that do it, Jose. I think that all we can say, and what I've learned over the months and the years, is I'm comfortable with my opinion. I think it will be a draw. Do I want to be wrong? Absolutely, I want to be wrong. But look, do I want to be right? No. But that's life, right? Like somebody's got to be right, somebody's got to be wrong. And at the end of the day, we all want what's best for Tottenham Hotspur. I just haven't seen anything, Jose. This is my problem. I haven't seen anything since we beat Villa last year. At the beginning of this year, to suggest that we've got it in us to beat a top team. Hopefully that changes this weekend, but I just can't see it.
So with the right and wrong that Sav has said, someone's got to be right and someone's got to be wrong. Sav, on screen at the moment, there's only four of us left. Three of us have gone for a Tottenham victory, and one's gone for the draw. So whether we're right or wrong, we're going to get at least a point, aren't we?
We're going to get a point. Yeah.
At least a point.
I think the ramifications are huge on this game, though. I mean, look, a lot of what I've been getting in my chat the last week is, it's only 3 games, and I get it, Jose. It is only 3 games. But big up Cougar. But the bigger thing for me, it's like I said on my video this morning, Jose, it's not just 3 games when you actually look at what it means. So, i.e., I read out this morning, and I've got it here actually written in front of me, look on a dirty little note that I made, that if we don't win this game, all the teams around us have got 2 home games coming up that they're going to win. City have got Arsenal and Brentford. Liverpool have got Forest and Bournemouth. Villa have got Everton and Wolves. Brighton have got Ipswich and Forest. For me, this game represents more than just the North London derby. It represents, if we want to try and get into that top 4 this season, if we don't win this game, this start to the season won't be very reflective of a team that are showing that they're better than last year and really want to compete. So I think the context around it, and that's where I'm different to other football fans. I do look forward to the next 4 or 5 games, look at the fixtures and go,
I mean, I did predict a win, but if it is a draw, I think that is a big enough result to kick on. I think it'll be a platform for us to kick on. I don't think it's a negative result to get a draw against Arsenal at our ground. I think we can kick on from that as long as we play well in the game. I think that's a good enough platform to kick on. But we'll see.
I'd love to know. Does anyone know if we don't win? Just hypothetical. Does anyone know the last time we only got 4 points from our opening 4 Premier League games? I don't know the answer, by the way. I just seem to remember under Conte, Jose,
Juan de Ramos, isn't it?
Yeah, Juan de Ramos.
Yeah, I was going to say Juan de Ramos sounds
2 points.
Oh yeah, we didn't even get to the 4, did we? 8
Is there any
points after 8 games.
statisticians out there? Any statisticians?
But as you said, Kuva, good afternoon, sir. How are
Good
you?
afternoon.
Stuart's back.
Sorry,
Mark.
Jose. I didn't get your message until too late. I wasn't looking at WhatsApp, silly me. But yeah, I thought I'd just come on towards the end of the show, obviously. But a few little talking points, wasn't there?
Yeah. And you were commenting on them, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, my overall feeling for us, the team in general at the moment, is this is now the season where we got to start seeing things working. With there's little positive points. I think the pressing's been really, really good. But at the end of the day, if it's just the pressing and you attack poorly and you defend poorly, the pressing doesn't mean anything then. Yeah. So, but and there's blame being put on Romero or the system or the way we do things. For me, it's even more basic than that. You just look at common sense defending isn't happening. 2 attackers in the box, 5 defenders, neither attacker marks. I'd even mark people when I was playing schoolboy football. It's below that level. So I think the problem with when we have the Romero conversation for me is, he should be the leader at the back. If he is going to charge forward like this, and this may be a tactic from Postecoglou, I don't know whether him pushing forward aggressively. If it is, he's got to have his deputy back there, hasn't he? Somebody else is going to be marshalling the defence, getting the line sorted out, holding position, making sure everybody's picking up the spare man. And it's not happening. So communication's clearly not working. You could say the same's happening with the forward line. I heard about Brennan Johnson coming on and not crossing the ball. Then when he does cross the ball, it's because Ryan Mason's shouting, just put it across. It doesn't matter if nobody's there.
I know.
Well, what's that? So then it becomes Sonny's fault, doesn't it? Because he didn't go to the near post. So again, there's no communication. There's no understanding there. These are things that must improve this season if we're going to have any hope. I will say, though.
Was clever there, though, Kuva. Sonny was clever, right? Because he saw that Dan Byrne and another defender were on that 6-yard box, right?
Yeah, it depends on his...
He held himself. All Brennan Johnson had to do was guide it to him, and he would have had a shot on goal. But he didn't.
But that's the point. If he's being told to just put it across anyway, if he's being told to just put it across anyway, then it's not his fault.
I don't blame Brennan Johnson. But if I'm a footballer, I've got football IQ. I don't listen to what's going on the bench. I use my football IQ to see that Sonny is in a shooting position and pass to him.
It's poor decision making. Poor decision making.
Alternatively, you could also say what Alan Shearer would say. Somebody's got to make a move to that near post. That's what striker.
You got to anticipate it as well, though, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Solanke in them positions, in them scenarios, maybe he would have got on the end of them, but I don't think that's Sonny's game.
What makes it worse is because he didn't do that. Well, if he had done that, there would have been nobody in his position. So you could say, why isn't the midfielder up there with play as well? Why aren't we taking a little bit of a risk getting the players in the box then? We've done the hard work, pressed them, won the ball back, got it on the wing. Who's in there? There's Sonny arriving late and holds his run. He was the only person there.
But there was no one in the box. When Johnson crossed that ball, there was no one in the box. I mean, you can look at it another way as well. Johnson should be getting his head up. If there's no one in there, don't cross the ball into that area. Just keep the ball. Do you know what I mean? It's decision making. That's all it is.
Point if there's no understanding. Yeah, there's no understanding between them. It's not so much communication on the day. It's
no chemistry.
They're not used to playing with each other, clearly.
Yeah.
And I think Johnson's not a very good crosser of the ball either. He's not.
He's a baffling signing as far as I'm concerned.
We haven't got really good wingers. We need Odebert's got potential because what I saw against Everton was pretty good. It's just his final ball. Why ain't we working on this as a team? Like,
isn't the final ball the primary objective of a winger?
Yes.
Do you remember Steve Guppy?
Yes.
Used to play for Leicester. No pace. No pace at all. All he did was make half a yard of space, put in a great cross. That was it.
Kuva, I went to the Stadium of Light to watch his England debut against Belgium.
Nice.
Nice one.
Just a random fact thrown out there about old Steve Guppy. But that's when wingers were wingers, right? That's when wingers were, you knew you got the ball out wide. That ball coming into the box was going to find a striker's head, right? It was going to.
And you only have to manage it 1 out of 5 times to be a good winger, because that's roughly the amount of chances got converted from crosses. So you'd look to try and get in 10 crosses in a game and create a couple of goals.
Yeah, it's not rocket science, is it? Look up, see where your man is, and pass it to him.
So to answer your question, someone's looked up. Kev G says in the 2015-16 season, after 4 games we had 3 points.
Yeah.
Okay. So this will be our worst start since then, right? If we don't win.
Yeah.
Christ, though, we have a season like that though. That was a good year.
Yeah.
It's the manner of the defeat though, isn't it, Xavier? If we get absolutely pummeled on Sunday, then
it is, Phil. But the problem is, as I said earlier, at what point are we going to stop talking the talk and we're going to have to see results?
I'll get it. Yeah.
I keep hearing a lot that. Yeah. And I'm not having a go, but I keep hearing a lot that Anne just changed the club, Anne just changed the atmosphere, Anne just got a style of play when the players get used to his system. The problem with that is when you look at the cold, hard facts, we're not winning games of football enough.
We need points on the board, don't we?
Yeah. And unfortunately,
no matter how we get them.
Whether his name is Jose Mourinho, whether it's Pep Guardiola, whether it's Carlo Ancelotti, if you do not put points on the board, you are not going to survive as the manager of any football club. And this guy has got to start putting points on the board, because we had a terrible last second half to last season.
Yeah.
And this season, that's why this game is so pivotal. Win it, suddenly 7 from 12 don't look too bad with Brentford next.
Yeah.
Lose it, it's a really bad start to the season with a tricky tie to Coventry. And I'm not saying he's getting sacked. I'm not saying sack him. But look, everyone here is old enough. Everyone here is old enough to have seen this pattern before. I know, Kuva, sorry. And you lot are all obviously younger than me. But we've all seen it before when managers, when you get in a bad rut and you get in that bad run, sometimes there's nothing left for the owner to do but pull the trigger. And we know Levy will do it. So this guy,
he's got a history of it.
He's got to start putting some wins on the board. And if it's not at Arsenal, he's then got a very tough run of Premier League fixtures coming up. So this is a huge game for not only for Spurs, but I think for Ange, because as much as he's loved and as much as he's got this great PR machine, unfortunately, the results aren't quite matching the PR, and he's got to change that. That's not my opinion.
Also, the man himself, Ange, said, judge him on his second season. So whether you're Ange in, Ange out, or undecided, this is what you've got to be looking at now. Are we going in the right direction? Do you really believe what we're doing? By the end of the season, we'll know. Or by Christmas, we'll know. In recent seasons, that seems to be when we tend to start getting itchy trigger fingers about managers. So let's see it. Let's see it. He's got to perform, same as the players have.
We can't do win, lose, draw, win, lose, draw, win, lose, draw. That's one thing. We've got to do win, 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 win all through the season. Win all the games. We'll be okay. We'll win the league. But that's a pipe dream, right? We've got to be more consistent winning. Yeah, we haven't. Look how we finished last season. It was atrocious. Right? Any other manager would have got sacked. They would have.
We need to build momentum, don't we? That's the one thing that we haven't got at the minute, because 4 points from the first 3 games. There's no momentum there. We need to get a run going, and if we do that against Arsenal this weekend, I think we are more than capable of winning the next 4 games. We got Man United after that away. I think I don't fear Man United at the moment. I think we can go to their ground, and I think we can get a result, whether it'll be a draw or a win. I think we've got the quality in the team to get a result at Old Trafford. But the other games previous to that, I think we can get a run going. We've got to see it. We've got to see it. Yeah,
this is the problem. Every time we play a good team, we've got to stop hearing from fans that we believe we've got the quality and we should be getting results. At some point, we've got to get the results. And this is
if this scenario, Sava, right? If we get a result against Arsenal, a convincing win, like a 3-1 win, we play really well. The confidence from that the team will get into the next 4 or 5 games will be massive.
Agreed.
And you know, this is why it's such a big game for both teams. You know, I think it's more important to us than it is Arsenal. I think because I think the pressure will be on Ange if we don't get the win or get a draw against Arsenal.
I think it's on both though, Phil. Arsenal, after they play us on Sunday, they then travel to Atalanta, which is not an easy place to go in the Champions League, and then they go and have a nice, easy game at the Etihad to Erling Haaland. So, look. By the way, this isn't me sitting here saying I want Ange sacked. Do I want Ange to tweak? Massively, I want him to tweak a lot. But, and this is where I get misconstrued. I think, Kuva, we've had personal chats. You know my feelings. Daniel Levy will pull the trigger if this man does not turn it round, because there's only so far that feel-good factor and vibes and stats about attacking, stats about pressing, stats about field tilt, whatever nonsense that is that I'm hearing these days. Those stats are great. But at the end of the day, if that table starts to get to the point where those teams are on 13, 14, 15 points and we're back on 5 or 6, that's not going to go down well. And no matter how much people love Ange, they're not going to like it if we are already after 5, 6, 7 games, we're 10 points behind all of the other clubs in the league. So it's a massive game. Massive.
Yeah.
Let me remind people, right, that Kuva's link for Free Spurs Boys is there. They're short. They're just shy of reaching a milestone of 1,000. So if you haven't done so already, please go over and subscribe to 3 Spurs Boys. And also, again, to Sava at Football Heritage TV. He's a few off another milestone that he's after as well. So if we've got people here that haven't subscribed to either of these channels, can you please do so? Thank you very much. And I was going to say something else, but I can't remember what it was. So carry on, Ellie.
I was going to just pick up on Sava's point about Ange Postecoglou, because Poch was much more loved than Ange Postecoglou at that stage of his career, right? We just played in the Champions League. We lost, yes. But then we had a really bad start, and then he was dropped, right? So this board will not, they won't listen to anything. They've got their mind, this board, especially Levy. If he feels that he's not going to make top 4, he's going to give the axe to Ange Postecoglou. He will, right? And he's got a track record of it. He buckles under pressure. He sacked, Conte sort of threw himself under the bus by making that statement, but he probably would have thrown him under the bus anyway and sacked him. He sacked Jose before a major final.
Jose, Portuguese.
Yeah, Jose, sorry. Right, and all right, stop being picky. I know where
Come on, get your nationalities right, please, Ellie. You Greek.
Jose, right, and Nuno, he was onto a loser anyway, right? So, and then before that, you had Martin Jol sacked at a UEFA Cup game.
That was awful.
It's just like a comedy of errors. It's a comedy. It's a joke.
But Ellie, if you actually look what some of the other managers were sacked for, right? This is why. And again, I have to keep making that differentiation between my feelings and Daniel Levy's track record. Yeah. AVB only lost 3 of his last 12 games of football, but got sacked because he got battered at home, if you remember, by Liverpool. Harry Redknapp lost 3 of his last 15 or something like that. Conte lost something like 2 of his last 8 or something. Like these guys, didn't actually have worse records. And as much as people love Postecoglou, the results have to. It's a result.
The results business, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? If you ain't getting the results,
yeah. And Levy's very much like that. He's a results man. He wants to get top 4 so that he can bring in the Wonga. But what are we doing with this Wonga? We bought 4 teenagers and Solanke. I don't get it. Why aren't we buying more credible players to go into challenge our first 11? I don't get it.
Exactly. The signings of Archie Gray and Bergvall, I think they're great signings, but only if you buy in those quality players that improve the team as well. Yes. That's what it should be, and we just don't do that. We just do the youth bet and the cheap bet, or the convenient bet, or loan signings for the likes of I wouldn't even say his name, but you know who. What we need more than anything right now for Ange's point of view, he needs one of those defining moments like Posh had with the 5-3 win against Chelsea. It turned everything around, because I remember the early days of Posh. There were people talking to me as well saying, do you know where we're going with this project? Because I don't see it. It was a mess.
I remember that.
And then it suddenly just clicked and boom, away we went. Ange needs something like that. And I don't see where it's coming from at the moment. I just don't think we have the quality.
Can I ask you this? I think that the key thing for me is shut up. Sorry, that's a dog.
All right, I'll shut up then, mate.
That's a dog, not a human. Sorry. Looking at me wants his dinner.
I was going to say it's a bit harsh. That one.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Oh, trust me, my wife wouldn't stand for that. She would. The interesting thing for me, Kuva makes a great point there about the project and when it's going to click. One thing that I keep hearing a lot from our fan base is, but when it clicks, when they get used to his style of play. My worry with this is when you actually look at the 11 guys, other than Solanke, this is the same 11. So I don't see there's the excuse of, but they don't know the way he plays. They've had a year and a bit under him now. They've had 2 summers under him now, right? They've had 3 transfer windows under him now. By now, we shouldn't be sitting here with 5-6 new players in an 11 saying, oh, give it time to gel. These players know his way of playing. So I don't know what he's going to, like Kuva, and probably for different reasons. I'm not paraphrasing you, sorry, Kuva, but I don't know what it is we're waiting for to click, because nothing's changed. We've added Solanke, who's only played 1 game. The rest of the 11, it is the 11 that played last year. So why aren't they clicking? Why are they not learning his style? If that is the accusation.
No, you're spot on. That's why I'm fairly pessimistic, because I don't see where it's coming from. It's going to have to be a bit of a surprise, because I don't think this forward line's good enough, and clearly the defence do not organise themselves without perhaps being shouted at constantly. It's just not there. 2 ends of the pitch are not working properly. Yet in the middle, we've got something that's starting to look really the part. The pressing does look great, and we are severely limiting teams with their ability to launch those counter-attacks. But if you can't put it all together, it's meaningless. It'll just be some nice statistics on a bit of paper, and results won't change.
I mean, it's a year. I think he's been here a year now, hasn't he? Or a year and a half, Ange? Is that
a year? A year and a month.
A year and a month. Okay. Is that a long enough time period for him to put a stamp on his? Is it?
Yes. 2 examples of team.
Sorry. Just before you give your example, Sava, can I just say one thing? I've now remembered what I was going to say. Angus, este es para ti. El domingo, después del partido, cuando pierde el Arsenal, tú vas a nadar en el río con los peces. Te lo dije antes y te lo digo otra vez. Vas a nadar en el río con los peces. Ahí tienes. La roja con los peces en el río. Sorry, Saba.
I like the La Roja.
I just had to let Angus know. Sorry, mate.
Jose, I've got to go because I've got
All right, Ellie, thank you very much.
Yeah,
cheers,
I've
Big up,
got to do
Ellie.
ladies' duties and cook dinner, even though I'm injured. There's no one in the house that can cook.
Fair enough.
They're all bloody useless, like our Spurs forward line.
Yeah.
Anyway, ciao, Walla.
Thank you.
Big up, Ellie.
Whatever you want to say in Greek. All right.
See ya.
Bye. Bye, darling.
Sorry, Sava. What was you going to say? I had to.
No, I'm all for people stopping to have a pop at Angus. I love it. Angus, how's Mbappe doing in the Arsenal shirt? Can't let him go. I can't let him go.
And Gokaris. And who was the other one? There was 3 of them.
Zubamendi, Gokares,
Zubamendi, that's it,
Mbappe. Yeah, they're all joining Arsenal.
All 3, yeah.
January.
January, this January. Yeah. For me, I think when you look at, okay, let's take when Unai Emery turned up at Aston Villa. He turned up Aston Villa. They were 17th in the league under Steven Gerrard. Now, I'm not suggesting they should have been 17th. They had a better squad than that. But in that year, he took them in October from 17th to finish, was it 5th or 6th? 7th? They finished just above us, right? He took them to finish above us. And then in that second season, he continued it and went from there to 4th. And you wouldn't say that Aston Villa signed any sensational players. They signed some really good squad players. But he's gone in with good coaching, right? Played, he's got multiple styles of play as well, which is something that we don't have under Ange. And he got the best out of them. And for me, I think that's their limitations, would have been 4th with the players they had. You then look at what Eddie Howe did at Newcastle. Eddie Howe took over Newcastle. They were rock bottom after, 11 or 14 games with like 4 points or something ridiculous. Yeah. Odds on with the bookies to go down. Got them into the top half of the table that year, then continued it through the next year and got them 4th. The difficult thing for me is Ange took over a team that, yes, we finished 8th. But let's be honest, with all the upheaval with Conte, with Stellini, with Mason, with all of that, we weren't an 8th place squad. Let's be brutally honest. We weren't an 8th place squad. So he's picked up this team, did a decent job last year. I'm not having a pop. He did a good job. It's where I thought we'd finish 5th. But when we're saying, is a year long enough? For me, a year is long enough for us to not be conceding the goals we're conceding. A year is long enough for us, for our wingers and forwards to understand how he wants to play. So for me, I don't feel like there's enough excuse there that more time is needed. I'm not talking about winning leagues or cups, Phil. I'm not talking about that. But for me, we should be well-oiled at the back. Yeah, that goal, forget whose fault it was, that should not have happened still. That mix-up against Leicester, that should not happen. Yeah. Look at Arsenal. Look at their back 4. There's no mix-up there.
What do we put it down? What do we put it down to then? Is tactics, coaching, because the player, I think the players are good enough to
100% coaching. I was just going to add to that. You look at the player managers like Sam Allardyce or Tony Pulis when they take over a team at the bottom of the table. The next week or within 1 or 2 matches, they suddenly look organised.
Yeah.
Shambolic style of players gone. Yeah. It might not be exciting, but they know how to stabilise things and get players to do the basics very, very well. I don't see that with us. It's nothing to do with the high line either. It's just defenders do not defend. What are they doing in the box at times? Or if somebody does go on walkabout or the fullbacks are pushed forward, somebody's got to have the sense to cover them. And it's just not happening. And the fact we changed our coaching staff at the start of the season, didn't we? So it's like, Ange is working with new coaches everywhere he goes. And it's obviously you're going to get a bad batch at some point. So I don't know what's going on here with this club at the moment. I really don't. So this season's just all about hope again.
Don't you think, though, we need to be a bit more consistent with our managers and giving them a bit more time? Because as a player, if you're changing managers, every year, 2 years, and not giving them the chance to sort of put a stamp on what they want to do, isn't that frustrating for a player? That they've got a sort of go back to square one again with a new manager. And do you see what I'm getting at? It's
Phil,
like,
don't you think it's about trajectory? So I think, Cougar, me and you had this conversation before. Spurs' trajectory last season was we started like that, and then it just went like that after 10 games. If it had been the other way round, you could start saying, okay, oh, sorry, is that me? Hello?
I couldn't hear him.
Phil.
Is that
gone
me?
now. It's Phil.
Me?
It's
Yeah.
Phil. It's Phil.
Yeah, Phil. Bloody hell, Phil. If we were doing that, if we'd had the really bad start, like take Chelsea's start last season compared to ours, Chelsea looked absolutely abysmal, Poch out all over the place. And then for the last 30 games of the season, Chelsea had the third or fourth best record in the league, right? So you could see that whatever they were doing was starting to go like this. It was starting to work. The players were getting better with the process. My concern, Phil, is that since that first 10 games, over the last 30 games or so, it's got worse. That's the worry for me, is that you're not seeing these incremental changes. And to Kuva's point, you're not seeing that coaching being drilled in where you say they've worked on that since last month. They've worked on that. It feels like it's very samey in terms of we can control games. We can have 70% possession. But then when you've got that one killer pass that takes out an entire team like the Newcastle game, you go, well, we've not learned anything. We're not learning, right? And I'm not saying sack him, Phil, please, before everyone in the chat. I'm not saying sack him. But if he does not change the defensive coaching setup, it's not going to work.
how long do you give him before he's sacked, though? Or what?
His results will determine that.
Because a lot of fans think that, they want to pull the plug on him now. So, how long, which I think is a bit harsh, to be honest with you. He's been a year and a month into the job. But how long do you give him until, is it all about results? Is it about how many goals we concede? Is it, is it a combination of things? What is it for you? What is it for you?
The goals we concede will lead to the results, right? So I think they go.
Yeah, of course.
But for me, look, I'm all for you stick with a manager and this is the process and this is the project. Cool. But there's got to be incremental growth. And at the moment, I don't care if you're not you, but the Royal, I don't care if you're the biggest Ange fan or the biggest Ange outer. The facts show that there aren't incremental growths anywhere on the pitch. We're not actually doing better. We're conceding.
I think there is on the attacking side of play. I think there is. We're getting good positions.
The results aren't showing it, mate.
Yeah, but I know that the results aren't showing it because we ain't clinical enough in the final third. That's why.
To do with how we're set up defensively and how many goals we concede.
No, that's a different story altogether. The defense side. I'm talking about growth in our attacking play. I'm not talking about defensive side of it. I'm talking about we get in good positions on the pitch. If we had better attackers in the forward areas, then I could see us getting more points.
But we didn't buy those better attackers, Phil. This is the round peg square holes. And just sanctioned off Timo Werner. He's gone and bought Odegaard, who he's young. He needs time. He's bought Johnson again, another one that people say needs time. Valise, who's gone out on loan. At some point, the excuses have to stop. I'm not an excuses person, right? At some point, the results on the pitch have to actually show that Spurs are improving. Not all the attacking metrics, not all the defensive metrics, the results. And the results since January have been piss poor, whatever we think they've been.
If you put City's forward line, right? I know it's obviously if you put City's forward line in Andy's style of play, right? Do you get more points?
Hell yeah.
Does his system work?
I mean,
same with Liverpool. I'd take Liverpool's right now. But
if you put City's forward line in Bournemouth, if you put City's forward line in in Everton.
But this is what I'm saying, right? If you have better players in his system, on the attacking side of it,
give it to your mates, the season ticket holders at Leicester. They stay up.
Of course. But the difference is,
it works. It works if you have better quality players. It works.
I don't believe this. I don't believe this because we're not seeing. I'll ask you this, Phil. Can you name me another manager in world football that plays a high line as high as Ange whilst playing two inverted fullbacks?
Ozzy Ardiles.
Right,
No,
we all know what happened there, right? And he didn't have inverted fullbacks. So
yeah, I know.
The Spanish manager. The Spanish manager.
But the Spanish manager, he doesn't invert his fullbacks. If you actually look how Spain won the Euros, they had Azpilicueta as an out-and-out right back and Cucurella as an out-and-out left back. And
Carvajal played right back.
I'm sorry, not Azpilicueta.
And he was playing. He's scoring goals and playing right up front, weren't he, Carvajal?
Yeah, but the thing is, you know, over a tournament. Come on, look.
Sorry.
Name me another club manager, because even
manager. Sorry.
When you watch Man City play, right, the right-sided fullback, whoever it is, whether it's Rico Lewis, whether it's Walker, tends to be the one that goes and joins in. If you watch City more often than not, Walker, Rico Lewis tend to be the one that go and join in. Vardiol, if you watch, whenever Man City attack, Vardiol is always in a good position to make that a back three. So that when the ball bounces back over the heads, right, they've got Diaz, let's just say it's Diaz and Akanji. They've got Diaz, Akanji, and Vardiol all as a free. So even Pep Guardiola doesn't play this style, Phil. So when we're saying it would work with better players, well, we're not City. We're not buying Rodri. We're not buying Erling Haaland. And this manager has told us out of his own mouth that Johnson was his, Werner was his.
There's your answer then, Sava.
Well, that's
boring Pep Guardiola plays so defensively.
Just like Pep. Just look. I'm not saying sack him. I'm not. I think this guy's going to talk himself into the sack.
Yeah.
Right. Because he will never ever get the quality players that Postecoglou wants, because he won't get them quality players. Is his system just flawed then? So he should change, because he doesn't get them quality players in his system for it to work, right?
So let me
does he change his system because we don't get that?
But when we're
he has to adapt, because
when we're saying the quality players that Postecoglou wants for his system, when you actually look at Postecoglou's career, he's never ever had this level of player that Spurs fans think he wants to compete. He's never needed it, right? In the leagues he's had, in the leagues he's been at, he hasn't needed the top players to do it. He's needed just a little bit better than everyone else, right? At Tottenham Hotspur, he knew coming into Tottenham. He knows. We know. You know. Kuva knows. Jose knows. Everyone knows. We're not going to sign those top-level players. Ange is the one that talks about not wanting top players. Ange is the one that talks about wanting players that fit my system. He's gone out. He's signed 16 footballers as Tottenham manager. 16 footballers. Yeah? If we're signing all these players and we're saying that these players aren't good enough, you have to start asking questions, a lot of questions about what is it that Ange wants? What is it that Ange needs? And for me, I don't care what anyone says. You could still put in Haaland, Foden, put those boys in all up top. If we play without a number 6 and with that line on the halfway line, we are never going to win leagues and competitions, because no team, again, please throw names at me, no team with a crap defence, I don't mean individually as players, but no team that can't defend wins anything.
Seen it close with Liverpool.
Sure.
Still didn't get there. Didn't get there. So.
Right. Look at City. Look at City's back four. Don't concede many goals. Look at Arsenal. They can't even win anything, and they've got the best back four in the country. Right? Spurs are conceding double what Arsenal do. For anyone saying that is not the issue, I just can't. I can't believe it.
So just do the attacking play better and be the first to do it. That's what this club does. We're groundbreakers.
Yeah. We'll score 4, you score 3. Yeah,
Damn right.
It's what it seems to be at the moment.
I've said it before several times. I would love to see what Postecoglou could do with the resources of a Man City and just getting those high quality players, and just it would be so entertaining. I'm sure of it. I still think they'd win the league. I still do.
I don't.
When you've got the Gvardiols and Walker and that covering you defensively, you're not going to concede all those breakaway goals. But I just think the problem we've always been having under Ange so far is when we attack, we lose the ball so cheaply and so often that we're wide open to be counter-attacked all the time. And the improvement in pressing is helping, but we're going to have to be damn near perfect with it to stop those things happening. And is that going to happen with our players? I don't think so.
Right. I've just put a comment into the private chat. So listen, sorry lads, I'm going to have to cut and run because I'm playing football. So I'll go and get ready. So this stream's gone a lot longer than I expected it to go. But right, can I thank? Right, I'm going to thank Deji Spurs, Ellie, Colin, Brian, Phil, Kuva, and Sava for all coming on today. Thank you very much. You've made this an interesting conversation, all of you. Thank you to everyone in the chat who's listened to what we've had to say and commented along the way. And can I also thank Peter Kagaias, who gifted 5 channel memberships earlier. But before we go, when can you next be found, gentlemen, so people know?
North London Derby watch along for me. I'm not doing as much content as I used to, so North London Derby watch along. Yeah, that's me.
And I think Bobby K and I might be doing a show tomorrow evening, but we're always up in the air with things at the moment, so we'll see.
Fantastic. And Phil, where are you making your next appearance?
I think it's Spurs Diehards. I'll probably be on there at some point.
It'll be Friday then, won't it? Because they do a show on a Friday, don't they?
Yeah, Friday, and then yeah, just anyone that wants me, basically. But yeah, it's been great. It's been
on dating apps.
Yeah, no, it's been great. It's been...
Please, just somebody want me.
No, it's been great. It's been great. It's been a great debate. Yeah, it's good to be on the show, Jose. Thanks for inviting me, mate. And
yes, thank you. It was your first time today. Sava's first time today, but pleasure to have you both. And Deji's first time today as well. So it's the first time I've had the three of you, or you three have come on the channel. So I'm really happy with that. Thank you very much for coming on, and thank you for everything that you've contributed in your conversations and your debates today. Just for the people that are still here, tomorrow I'm doing a show at 4 o'clock. It's the prediction show, where we do the predictions for the week. This weekend we do predict the football and fantasy Premier League. So thank you everyone for watching, and as always, I'm going to say, come on, you mighty Spurs, and in the big Ange, I trust. See you later, everyone. Bye.
Come on, you Spurs.
Levy out.
Please.